We are back. This fire has been raging now for 3 days.
Yeah, it's real hot.
It's very hot, and we don't have what most would consider legal ventilation in this room.
By legal, do you mean any?
It's very smoky.
Yeah.
And I am sweating. So let's get this show on the road.
Rather uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. So we hope you enjoyed episode 1 of the Year in Review for 2023. Welcome to episode 2 of the Year in Review for 2023. Now, as anybody who listens to this podcast knows, I love making a friend. Absolutely love it. There's nothing you hate more than making friends. There's nothing I love more than making friends. And I found myself a good one this past summer.
I want to get to, we talked about it at the start, you mean, refusing to make a friend, and you excitedly last week, very excitedly, telling me that you did,
look, I'm
not
always,
just want,
I'm
but that
always,
you did make a friend.
Always in friend-making mode. Always in friend-making mode. And,
God,
nothing makes...
there's no mode worse. Like... I'm thinking of
is there a mode worse than friend-making mode?
Because it seems like there's so many people, whether it's a social gathering or whatever, and it's a mix of people you know and don't know. I just envision you with whether it be a can or something, and your head is like peacocked above the rest, looking for someone that you don't know, so you can then approach them blindly. Yeah.
You're not far from reality.
Okay.
And let me tell you that nothing makes your neighbors more chatty than when you got a big load of lumber sitting in the backyard.
There's two types. There's the guy, kind of like you and a lot like me, like, oh, maybe they're renovating a move. And then there's what I'm presuming you're about to tell me. Nosy neighbor.
Yeah.
Wants to know what you're doing, how long it's going to take, how much that costs you. All of the minutia.
Some of that, yeah.
Okay. Lay it out for me.
So when all the lumber got dropped off in the driveway, again, I told you it took me like 2 days to haul it all into the backyard. So I got stacks of lumber in the backyard.
10-hour shift.
More. Higher.
It was more?
Yeah, it was probably...
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe 10 to 12 hours or so it took me. So I get it all into the backyard. And the night before I'm going to start construction on this, I was out there... I was just doing some preliminary stuff like measuring, marking on the concrete, kind of stacking stuff up in an order that would make it easier for me to get to things that I need in the morning.
Yep.
So I don't spend half the day moving this, moving that to get to that. And I'm out there and I'm writing some stuff down and I hear, "Are you starting to build tomorrow?"
Oh, boy.
And I turn around.
Now, you're leaning old with that voice.
Yeah.
Is that just...
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Good. Trust me.
Boy, super thrilled that you made a new geriatric friend.
Well, I can tell you exactly how old he is because that was one of the first things he told me.
Oh, God almighty.
That the next day was his 70th birthday. And I said, "Oh, that's very nice."
So you got a lot in common.
So I turned around and said, yeah, tomorrow's a big day. "Oh, what size are you going with for the building?" And I told him, "Yeah, I'm doing one 30 by 36 down at the lake house, but having trouble getting a contractor to blah, 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 blah." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, sounds good." And then we just kept chatting. At one point I said, "Sir, what's your name? We've never met." Because this is not one of our direct neighbors. It's kind of a diagonal...
But in the Zach.
No.
Okay.
He's on his own. He's on the adjacent Zach.
Okay, so is he the behind Zach?
Yeah.
Where he would know the birders?
I'm not sure. There's a point where like 5 or 6 yards kind of come together in a point. So I'm diagonal to him. He's diagonal to the birders.
Got it. So that's the geriatric Zach.
The Jerry Zach, yeah.
Yes, obviously.
So I asked him his name, and he said, "I'm Mike." I said, "Good to meet you, Mike. I'm Steve."
Mike, the soon-to-be 70-year-old.
Now, this is somebody who I've never seen. The only time I've seen him, and I don't mean like face-to-face, but I've seen him out in his yard in the fall. I've talked about him before. He's the guy that is basically sitting on his riding mower while the leaves are falling, and he's just looking.
Waiting for him to drop.
And once it hits the ground, zoom, mows it over. So he was,
I hate that guy.
during the fall, no lie, he's out there with the big headlight. He's got one of those like tower lights that you would see at a construction site that that contractors have. It kind of lights up a big area. He has one of those in his yard, lighting up the entire yard, and then the headlight on his mower, and he's just, but he's out there until 10 o'clock at night in the fall. That is not
Hounding these leads.
any amount of exaggeration at all. So I was already like, yeah, it's this guy. Turns out, super nice guy. But when he introduced himself to me, see, this is where I think that you're going to kind of be on board with it.
Of you becoming a friend?
I think you'll be okay with it.
You've got a hard sales pitch, but I'm here
Okay.
for it. I'm an open mind. If anybody would, a couple words to describe me is open-minded.
Yeah.
Willing to hear.
Kyle?
Willing to listen.
Kyle, I think he's a friend from the old country.
No.
Because his last name was the most Italian last name I've ever heard, and it was about 16 syllables long.
You wait a minute. Are you telling me?
His name was like Mike DiFrancesco Rinaldi Carmelucci Baramado.
This guy is, one, has connections.
Yeah.
And two, most definitely has a recipe for sauce that he's been using for 50 years.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
See?
I love it. Did he sound?
Not so much, but I figure
He's probably been here for a long time, right?
Yeah, a bunch of years, because he's no doubt in witness relocation. He's been in the Midwest for 45 years since since the Lufthansa heist. So
this is okay.
So
listen.
So we had a great short conversation, maybe 5 minutes or so.
So he talked literal shop with you.
Talked shop with me.
About the garage, building it, and all the things going into it.
And at first, I was a little bit worried because I thought it was going to be like you were saying. Oh, how late are you going to be working on it? But he seemed genuinely just a interested neighbor.
You think he wants to get his hands dirty?
The next day, we start working. My buddy Ben and I, we started around 9:30, 10 a.m. Mike DiFrancesco Luciano Pavarotti was out at the fence about 5 minutes into our build.
So he heard like one nail hit wood. Because I'm assuming you guys are straight hammer. Just
oh no,
you don't even know where you're going, but you're like, hey, I got to start hammering stuff.
I'm nailing walls to trees.
So 9 a.m. by 9:02, Steve's got a handful of nails, like one hanging in your mouth.
Yeah,
3 in your hand. You're hammering away.
Yeah.
So Mike DiLucenzo Pavarotti hears those first nails hit wood/tree,
and he's right out there, cup of coffee in hand.
Now you don't have a connection between the yards.
No. So he is. Now the previous day, he was about 15, 20 feet from the fence. He was kind of out by his shed in the middle of doing something. And so our conversation, it was a bit of a distance conversation. Well, he's warming up to us now because he was right up against the fence.
Yeah, no, I got a Comanche. Huh? It's a Jeep Comanche LJ.
MJ.
MJ.
So he's getting comfortable now. He's right up against the fence. And now we're really talking shop. Now it's we going to the pressure treated on those bottom studs there.
God, they're just the dumbest questions. I'm figuratively inside getting earbuds.
So Mike DiVincenzo Pavarotti goes back inside. 45 minutes later, I turn around. The guy's standing in my yard. He's walked through my neighbor's yard, or from his yard, through my neighbor's yard, into my yard.
So
all the way back.
He's ripped it all the way off.
We are pop-in friends now. He's standing right there. He's talking to us about what gauge nails we're using, what the plan is for the trusses. Mike DiVincenzo Pavarotti he's invested.
So this guy's built some things.
He's built a thing or two.
And he's to the point in his life now where obviously he's maybe a little bit bored. He's got a house that's done. it's complete. He doesn't have any big projects. So
Not a leaf to be seen in the yard?
At this point, Little Italy, you.
Is that my nickname?
Yes.
God, please. Please.
Puts out on the poll as well. Heavy Steve polls this week, but that's okay. I like when that
right.
happens. Is Steve's nickname Little Italy?
Oh my God. Nothing would make me more honored.
If he came over, whenever, next Saturday morning, this morning, it doesn't matter. And he had, 2 mugs. Mm-hmm. Hey, Little Italy, top of the morning.
His mug says Mike. DiVincenzo Pavarotti.
And yours
says Little Italy.
Little Italy.
Look, I feel as though me and Mike DiVincenzo Pavarotti are just days away from him showing up at an odd hour with a briefcase saying, "You hold on to this for me? What's in it, Mike? Don't worry about it."
You got any room under that concrete there in that garage? How about I reimburse you? Make you an offer you can't refuse. Rebuild that corner of the garage.
Right. Horse head in the bed.
Say you leave the gate open tonight. And there's a hole in the yard. You woke up in the morning, that hole was filled.
I don't like where this is going, Mike.
Hey, Little Italy, nothing to it, ah!
Bing-a-da-bang-a-da-boom.
Okay, so he's in the yard now.
He's in the yard.
And so is he just talking you and Ben's ear off?
He is just chatting away.
Now, how's Ben with this? Because this is a big enough project where you're kind of like, it's daunting, right? And you just
we got a lot to do.
You just want to get moving.
Yeah. Now, I mean, in his defense, he wasn't right up in our face or anything. He was hanging back.
At any point, did he drop you one of those? You sure you want to do that?
There was one point where we were doing. So we built the two walls first that have, it's just a wall. There's no windows, no doors. Mm-hmm. So we started with the easy ones. Built them, stood those things up. By the way, we stood the walls up and thought, oh boy, these are really tall. Didn't realize how tall 10 feet actually was until we stood the walls up.
Trying to lift the 10-footers up. Yeah.
I had a little weight to them. So then we're framing the third wall, which has the door, like just the regular entry door, the service door. And so Ben's asking me, hey, how long does this have to be? Where does this have to go? And I was like, 82 inches or something. So he cuts it to 82 inches. And just as he's about to start nailing it in, Mike DiVincenzo Pavarotti says, whoa, yeah, you gotta back this up here a little bit. And Ben, who's a super nice guy, he just looks at him. He goes, yeah, I got it. And
okay.
I was like, oh boy.
Well, glad to hear Ben's on my side. Because I also...
Whoa. You got to pick a side here, man.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
No.
You're not on Team DiVincenzo Pavarotti, Little Italy?
I like the idea of DiVincenzo Pavarotti.
Okay.
But I don't like the idea of DiVincenzo Pavarotti standing there with his coffee in the morning, eyeballing 82 inches from a distance and telling your friend building a garage that he needs to do something different.
So you were on... So he overstepped at this point.
Nosy. Okay. It's the nosy neighbor.
Okay.
It was a matter of time before it got there. I'm surprised Mr. DiVincenzo Pavarotti got there as fast as he did. Crossing that fence threshold was a big move.
That was something
from MDP. And
I love it. I love that he has a nickname already. I love that I have a nickname already.
MDP in Little Italy.
So needless to say, I'm thrilled about this blossoming relationship.
When is the next full garage build day?
I'm hoping to do some today.
But it's not like a set, Ben coming over, big part of the project type of thing. Okay.
No, that'll be hopefully within the next week. I got to get my roof trusses in place.
Are you planning on MDP swinging by unannounced again once he starts hearing the rumblings of construction?
Boy, it seems like I don't really have control of that.
At what point do you simply loop him in and say, you know what, Mike?
Come on over.
Bring
your hammer.
You got some gloves, hard hat, some steel toes.
Oh.
Come on over here and I'll let you, start on the door. Right? Just to get him, one, to shut up.
I would never say that about my friend Mike
No.
DiVincenzo Pavarotti.
Absolutely not. I wouldn't accuse you of such. I guess I'm happy for you. It fits the narrative that the friend you would make would be a 70-year-old geriatric who lives behind you.
I'm just waiting because I know that it's going to come to this day. It'll be a Sunday, probably 2 o'clock in the fall. MDP is going to knock on the door. He's going to have a crock pot in his hands. Oh, my old lady made some extra meatballs. You want? And I'm going to say, now I'm part of the family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you're going to have to, like, you're being brought in, and there's going to be some conversation between Mike and whoever else is there, not just his wife.
Yeah.
You know, about the business.
Yeah,
and,
who's his wife's name, no doubt, is Rosalie.
And they're absolutely watching you from the side to see how you're reacting when they talk.
Yeah.
About the business. To see if you...
Hey, who does your trash collection anyway? I get you a better deal.
To see if you, Little Italy, can be trusted enough.
So, when this day comes, and he brings the crock pot of meatballs and the Sunday sauce...
Of course.
You want that call, right? You want that invite over to come over for dinner? Of course, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's what time you do Sunday dinner.
Question. But there's enough food there that 3 o'clock dinner for the Sunday sauce and the meatballs is going to hold you over until Monday breakfast.
From lunch, maybe. Dinner, probably.
Yeah, you're going to ask, what can I provide? They're going to say, cannoli. Like, that's it.
Right.
And you're way too full to eat
so
cannoli.
Then you, at 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon in West Michigan, then have to try and find a non-store-bought cannoli.
Right. I'm Googling or YouTubing cannoli recipes.
Oh, no. No.
Is that cheese in the center? What is that? How do they get the shells so crispy?
So that's the latest here on the Zach.
I'm thrilled for you.
I'm thrilled for me, too.
I still think there's 100% chance that there is a body somewhere near the footprint of your garage.
Hold on, let me text Mike DiVincenzo Pavarotti. I didn't text him to say Merry Christmas. Send him a holiday brajol.
I was just either or a bag of gabagool. I don't know if that would come in a bag.
Sure, yeah, why not? You got enough of it? Put it in a bag.
You know, Steve, I've been complaining for a very long time on this podcast how I want to leave this podcast. And not to bring the room down, but I've tried multiple times.
Okay.
And the most recent one this year was probably my best opportunity. And it's one that I probably should have taken up.
Last week's episode ended in a flurry of confusion for me.
Yeah.
Seemed like a lot of excitement for you.
Yeah, finally.
I wasn't sure if you were going to be here today.
Yeah.
Because you left us in a bit of a lurch. And you said, well, you flat out said you might not be here.
Yeah.
And
I really wanted you to know that, good chance that was it.
Right. So what's happening? What has come up? What's the new venture that you're flirting with? Accepted? Declined? I need to know the status.
Yeah, none of that yet. I'm assuming it's a matter of time before the...
okay, so where we sit right now, there's no...
offer is on the table.
Six-figure offer. We talking high six, low six, middle six?
We haven't nailed that in yet.
Okay.
But I randomly saw a post on Twitter. This was a while ago. It was nobody I even follow, but it was retweeted by an account that I do follow.
Mm-hmm. Are you willing to reveal, or is this just...
No, yeah, absolutely. Nothing's being held back here. It's not worth it.
You're not being coy. You're just going to tell us where you're going and what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is... I'm currently sending some links and putting together a demo reel for the big time.
A demo reel? Like a podcast demo reel?
Yeah, I'm pulling some of our best hits and bits.
All right.
Without your interruptions.
Sure. Just edit me out.
No, it was a random tweet about looking to start a Detroit Lions and Detroit Tigers and Detroit Pistons based podcast.
Okay.
And they were looking for a host / co-host. And I thought, you know what? I don't even know if it would be a relationship that would work with whoever else would be launching this. A timeline that would work, whatever.
Where's this coming from?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't know.
All right.
It's somebody that looks like they have a series of other. They do a lot of their stuff. It looks through YouTube, but it was retweeted by one of the Detroit Tigers accounts I follow that is associated with, for anybody who follows sports, SB Nation.
Okay,
but it is not an SB Nation associated podcast.
So, a Detroit centric podcast.
Yes,
Detroit sports centric podcast.
Yeah,
great,
right up my alley.
I'm sure that most teams in all the major sports leagues probably all have something similar in their network of media. I thought that you had 100% sworn off the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, still follow them, though.
Okay, so you're still knowledgeable on them, but you wouldn't consider yourself a fan?
Boy, it's hard. You find out for that many years, it's a hard habit to kick.
But now because there's so much hubbub about your formerly beloved Detroit Lions.
Which, in my mind, just leads to that precipitous fall off the cliff, which is inevitable by October.
Now, you were the guy that was every Sunday or Monday or Thursday or whatever night they were playing, day they were playing, if they had a big win, you were posting the forward down the field, marching band won't yield, something like that.
Yes, you got it. Haven't done that in years.
But you haven't done that in years. You have.
It was the day they traded the best player the best quarterback in that franchise's history, Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford took his talents to
Huntington Beach or whatever beach is over there,
to the left coast.
Yeah, and I thought I think
it was the day after that you showed up at my house with a Stafford jersey on for his new team.
Yep. So I have the LA Rams. At this point, as it stands today, I have much more LA Rams merch than I do Lions merch. I went full tilt. My team won a Super Bowl. Okay. Which, as a pathetic, idiotic Lions fan for the first 30 some odd years of my life, I never even sniffed the idea of a Super Bowl. So
I don't know if you should include this on your reel.
Mm-hmm. This part, you mean?
Yeah, this part. Yeah, you should probably edit
this one out. Yeah.
If you just want to give a "Go Lions," I'm a fan. I'll just
you cut that.
Yeah, I'll step back. Go ahead.
Go Lions! You guys are the best.
And edit. Okay.
No, what my plan is I'm just going to send this guy some links. I don't. He had requested via email because that's how the pros do it.
So you got a reply.
Oh yeah, and listen, this isn't like some big time thing. This would be more for fun for me.
So is this like what kind of time commitment are you talking about?
I have no idea. I just wanted you to be on your toes.
It's just in the idea stage at this point.
It is.
So no doubt, like any other podcast, out of the gate, like gangbusters, you're doing 5 episodes a week.
Probably, right?
By week 4, you're down to 2 episodes a week. Mm-hmm. By week 6, you're closing out all the accounts, deleting all evidence that it ever existed,
and never referencing it again.
Never referencing it again.
Or, much like the alternative side, is it just drags on for like 7 years.
Just the worst. Just the worst when podcasts don't realize that it's time to call it quits. But after, 7 years, 300, I don't know, spitball in here, 79 episodes, 80 if you count a lost episode.
In all seriousness, no, it obviously is not going to change.
So you're leaving.
Yeah, I'm hitting.
All right.
I'm out the door.
Auditioning for your replacement starting next week.
MDP? Justin with a Y? Short commute?
I'd be lying if I said that I didn't have some feelers out there already. I kind of sensed
that it was coming.
Yeah.
It's just smart. You don't want to be caught off guard.
Look, you got to diversify.
Yes.
In your case, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
To dip your toes into the unknown waters.
Yeah.
I don't think maybe that's a bad analogy because you fear water and everything that lives in it. So,
it's horrifying. I mean, we don't need to recap. Most of our tweets that we receive from listeners now are about
it's just shark attacks,
the horrid things happening in and near the ocean. So I had a fully legitimate conversation that made my wife laugh when we were talking about evolution in the car, because I said,
Boy, you guys get deep on car rides.
no, because I had said that sharks are, going through evolution, and you just wait until they get their little foot paddles and they're walking on the beach and chomping legs.
I can't imagine they'll be fast though. I mean, right off the bat, it's going to
take a while.
It's going to be open season on sharks walking across the beach.
Right. And
they're just going to be getting hit with baseball bats left and right.
Right.
Because they're not fast.
And
in the water, deadly creatures.
Yep.
On land,
useless.
Yeah, you're in our dojo now.
I mean, unless you literally walk into its mouth.
Right.
Like if you're walking near his, oh, hey, what's that thing?
Yeah.
And he chomps you while he's hanging out on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Like an old Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yes.
It's got its mouth open so wide that you think it's a cave. And you just walk right in.
Yeah. And presumably also like, the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Where Wile E. Coyote didn't fall until he noticed he was over air when he ran over the cliff.
And then he falls, and then the cloud. Okay. So you're leaving.
Yes. I think so. I think it's safe to say.
To do...
my time here is come
to do Sports Pod.
Yeah. My true passion.
True. Sports talk. True passion.
Listen, this is the
if
this were the 1990s and radio.
Oh my God,
I would be on the forefront of thought.
Yeah,
with this. This will be my second. Listen, again, I have no idea if this is going to happen. I'm going to send him some links of the episode I did with my friend Kyle Koster from the Big Lead, talking about the Lions.
Yeah,
as well as some clips from Sports Tate. About the Tigers, because he wants like some Tigers specific talk and some Lions specific talk, which is fine.
That's not Sports Take.
That's right.
Sports Tate.
Can't wait for that.
The number 8.
Yeah, can't wait for that conversation about what the hell is this and what does it mean.
Look, the best part about that is you can give me full credit for the stupid idea if he hates it, and if he loves it, you take full credit. I'm willing to. Here, look, I'm handing that to you. I'm balancing it right here in between us. So
I'm honored.
Whichever way you want to push, you want to pull, do what you need. I'm all about building superstars here.
Yeah, listen,
from the Living in Style Podcast Network.
Listen, sports guy, I've been saddled with just a dead weight of idiocy for the better part of 7 years.
If that gets you out of my hair, please.
Well, no, I might take this on, depending on time commitment and everything, because I don't want to I don't want to overdo just life in general with side stuff. I've been making an effort, a concerted effort, to declutter a lot of that stuff in life.
That's a good thing. You got a family.
Yeah.
You got a lot of irons in the fire.
And it's part of the reason.
You spend upwards of 9 hours a day denying mortgages.
Where's my stamp?
For hardworking American families.
I like the denied one. I'm just going to go straight to the you're an idiot one. And this is me every day.
Denied.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Was that not enough? You're an idiot.
So,
or many thanks to whoever sent us these. I don't remember, but denied and you're an idiot.
I need to know more. I have a million questions.
Well, those questions might as well send them right to this guy I've communicated with.
My first question is, if this is something that you decide to take on, say you hit it off.
Yeah.
Just instant chemistry. Yeah. Talking about, I don't know, on-base percentage.
Yeah, or the big game.
The big game.
Yep, and then, zone defense.
Zone defense.
And the front seven.
Yeah, I mean, are they running the nickel?
Slot receiver?
Or the dime?
All the big stuff.
Are you going to be, of course I need to know logistically, are you going to be doing that from your house? Is it going to be a remote thing?
Yeah, presumably.
Are you going to be building a studio?
No, never. I would not be so dumb as to reduce my home's value as building a podcast studio. Yeah. And especially doing stuff like concrete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Imagine doing that twice.
And then making it permanent, like really leaving it in there. No, I'd have to be just a real idiot.
So it's just gonna be you in your recliner.
Yep.
Microphone balanced on the arm.
Yep.
During our COVID records.
Yeah, I would probably look at getting a different microphone.
Okay, so you're going to upgrade one piece of equipment.
Yep. Which I think is all I need.
That shows how serious you are about this. Mm-hmm. Because obviously, I'd love to let you come in and use the studio, but
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to commute for that as well
Sure.
as this.
Sure. Okay,
It's just extra effort. So
are you going to be the number one guy, or you're going to be the number two guy?
I will no longer am I taking
A backseat?
the second banana. Okay? I'm a driver.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
I'm going to drive the content.
You're
I'm going to
driving
drive
the
the
bus.
discussion. I want people out of my way.
Okay.
In fact, this whole idea of host/co-host, I'm pitching no co-host.
No co-host.
Let me run. Actually, that sounds terrifying. I don't know. Like Jim Rome doing that forever. Like, no.
Yeah.
The idea of uninterrupted
Okay.
blathering of sports opinion for hours sounds awful.
Another question. What will you do to combat the severe boredom that this will no doubt bring about? Just talking.
For me, you think?
Talking about X's and O's.
Just gave me goosebumps. Exciting.
You're excited. Okay.
Exciting. Like, I can't wait to break down, the third play from
I hate to cut you off, but I got another question.
Yeah, of course.
This will no doubt be another no money venture, correct?
Oh, God. You book it. This is a loser.
Because if the world needs one thing, it's more idiots talking about sports.
Especially, presumably, two middle-aged white guys.
With zero sports experience.
Right.
Other than, look, I think that, you know what I think you should send is, as part of your reel, to show that you're a real sport head, real sports guy, you need to send the first episode that we recorded after your horrific injury on the softball field. So he can know that ERA is still infinite.
I do. Yeah. I should send. Can somebody mock up for me like one of those Topps cards? And then when you flip it over, it has your statistics.
Yeah.
Right.
And it just shows you balancing on one foot as you're hobbling to the parking lot.
Yes. And so that's the picture. And then on the back, 2017, innings pitched 0.0.
Yeah.
Hits allowed 2.
Yep.
ERA
infinite.
The infinite symbol. Can somebody please do that?
There's going to be so many asterisks on this card.
Yes.
To fill in the blanks.
I tell you what, though, it's going to look.
Oh, but what about feet hobbled to the parking lot to drive to the emergency room? You got at least 300 probably?
No question.
That was a long, long walk.
You're absolutely right.
That's got to lead the league.
In steps.
Mm-hmm.
No question. No question. But yes, I might be leaving, Steve. I might be moving on to the big time.
Greener pastures, no doubt. I mean, they can't get any more.
Well, you can't lose any more money than we do.
Oh, we could. We absolutely could.
Well, we've had some ideas that, again, would be also money losers.
Every idea that we've had has been a losing effort. So, what's our timeline looking like? When are you thinking that you're going to clear out your office?
Yeah, I would assume I'll be.
Are you going to come back for the holiday episode when we do the gift exchange?
No.
Take that as a no.
No. You said come back and do another one of these?
Yeah. Okay. Guess that's a big no. Big
Holy cow. No. I'm sorry. That one caught me off guard.
Okay.
Whew, all right. It's exciting. I like it.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
This is.
I think it would be something. I think I would enjoy it up until the obligation would again make me unpleasant to be. I wouldn't want to deal with it. So maybe I won't do this.
I think it has the potential to be a lot of fun if it's a once a week thing and you're doing 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. I can't do 3 times a week.
But once that loser that you're hosting with says, "Hey man, you see the big guy got traded? We need to do an emergency episode."
That's what it would be too, and that's the way sports feels like we need our opinion out there.
Yeah,
because our opinion is what the masses are waiting for, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
what is this going to be called? Are you going to have nicknames?
See, this thing is not even off the
ground. Is it like Binky and the Stooge or something? I mean, you got to be Binky, right? You got to be
the Stooge. I told you, my Stooge days are done. Okay, done with it.
Okay.
Thank you for your understanding at this time.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I know some people would be sad, but I'm thrilled to be getting rid of you.
Wait, what?
Huh?
So auditions for the new co-host of this thing start soon.
As of right now, 0 submissions for your replacement because, well, you didn't do anything. You did nothing. You talked about it. You talked a big game, and then did nothing.
Yeah, in hindsight, really glad you haven't filled the chair yet, as
Right.
as this podcast is known to do.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out on all of the revenue.
That's right. And as history has shown, my lack of planning, preparation, and follow-up for this podcast has now cost me my dream job of talking sports minutia with another sports buffoon over a Zoom call, presumably weekly. And that's my own doing, Steve.
Yeah.
That's my own doing.
You're just going to have to live with that.
There's few things on this earth that make me happier than talking to you about your DIY projects, which I would argue for the most part go pretty flawlessly.
I finish them usually.
So to hear this upcoming story
Oh, boy.
from you this past year
This was scary.
was an eye-opener for me and has only reinforced the fact that this is I'm a cut a check guy through and through.
I had a near-death experience tonight.
What?
It was terrifying. I nearly... Okay, so...
Is this the type of thing that's going to, are you moving some hard nose to soft nose now? Are you kind of making amends with, with a lot of people, that type of near death?
Dude, this had the potential to be bad. Very, very bad. Like, if not death, very, very injured.
Okay, and we all know I've been the go-to for rides. Was before I know any detail of this, what is the phone call? Who are you going to first? With the wife being an hour and a half away, and honestly, if the wife was 18 feet away, I don't know if it would have made a difference. I still feel like you would have had to go through the Rolodex. Who's the call for you if it goes the way that you're about to imply?
911.
Much.
It's not like...
It's not Justin with the why are you outside?
I mean, maybe. I would probably scream and hope that someone heard me.
Well, we know the Frisbo's are turning off the lights.
Frisboers,
Closing the blinds.
Exactly. That relationship will not be mended.
Love to see you admit that.
So I'm up on the roof. I'm pulling plywood up onto the roof, nailing it down. Okay. So basically I have to walk from one truss to the other. Like, just the wooden trusses are the only thing that are up there.
It's kind of it's a balancing act.
It is indeed a balancing act. The first piece is the hardest because kind of sets the pace for the rest of it. You got to get that one so perfectly lined up and exactly where it needs to be. So it took me about a half hour to get that first piece exactly where I needed it, nailed down, bing, bang, boom. Second piece goes up a little bit quicker. Not a problem. Third piece goes up, and I'm nailing it down, and then I turned around because I wanted to go and put a nail kind of in each, like one in each side, just to hold it in place while I was making sure everything was straight.
So you've done one. You've done one?
I have two.
Okay. So
that are right next to each other long ways.
Can you describe then your confidence between before you put number one in and now after you've done two? Has your confidence grown? Are you still very tepid?
It's grown because now I have an area to walk on, at least. A flat area that is 4 feet wide, 16 feet long. So I'm like, all right, I'm good. Get that third piece on there. And as I turned to nail down one side, I stepped in a spot where there was no plywood, and I fell. Like, one leg went straight through. The other leg, luckily, was on the other side of a joist. So I kind of caught myself, but I swung down and hit my head right above my eyebrow on one of the joists, and then caught myself with my arms and dangled there, basically. And I laid there, and then I had to pull myself back up, and then I sat on the roof, and I laid down, and I said, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
That's a real come to Jesus. Because I mean, feet-wise, what's the estimate on that if you were to go all the way to the ground?
12 to 13 feet to concrete, and I'm going face first.
So if you're going face first, boy, I mean, let's say you can recover and you're just laying, whatever. You're leaning on your arm.
There's a folding table down there, so it would have kind of been WWE Hell in a Cell style.
Oof.
I consider myself a Mick Foley in that instance. Yeah.
Like you would have gone through the cell, landed just as well. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was just an imaginary Undertaker throwing me off the top of the cage through the broadcast table.
How close? I mean, if you could quantify, like was this a rare save? Like, is this a 1 out of 10 save, a 5 out of 10 save? Like, how often does this end with you actually going through, do you think?
I have no idea. I can't quantify that, but I was terrified.
Sure. And was that the end of the night for you?
Surprisingly, no.
Okay, see. So no lesson learned in this regard.
No, I think I learned my lesson. I learned that I needed to make sure that there was a floor when I was walking somewhere. I was a little more... I think I got a little bit confident because I had 2 pieces up and I was like, hey, man, you are cooking with gas now, buddy. Let's go. Do this. And then... Ugh.
So when do you think... Is it tomorrow morning? Where, sun comes up, you got morning coffee, you're by yourself, so you got your left hand down your pants, right hand on the cup, steam rolling up as you're looking out that back window at the garage.
Yeah, of course, it's tea, though. We know.
Oh, sorry. That's right. It's 2 o'clock somewhere. As you're looking at that garage, when does it give you any pause before you're climbing back up there to finish the job? Or do you think tomorrow's just going to be another one like, hey, fluke, I know I need to take a breath between movements and make sure I know where I'm putting my feet at all times.
That's it.
But do you think at some point tomorrow maybe it's an hour, maybe it's half the day, you're going to realize, hey, I'm a little more rattled than I thought I might be?
Well, I mean, I came in the house, I took like 4 ibuprofen because my head was ringing pretty loudly. So I wouldn't be surprised if I wake up tomorrow with a black eye, honestly, because it was like basically my eyebrow. So I think if I wake up tomorrow and I look in the mirror and I have a nice shiner of a black eye, I might possibly be a little bit more likely to be somewhat more careful.
I've never heard more hedging in my life, and I gamble on sports. So, you said you were on the phone with your wife when you were on the roof. Have you reported this entire situation?
Absolutely not.
To your wife? So,
no.
Because, what do you think?
Look,
would she then tell you?
Listeners, hey, it's me, Steve. It's just us here. Me, you, listening to this podcast with your earbuds in.
That's right.
Leanne, I'm especially talking directly to you. I swear to God on everything that's holy. If you tell my wife that I nearly took a header off of the unfinished garage, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well,
in fact, I'll probably do nothing.
I have a feeling I know what'll happen.
Just please, just keep this between us, okay? I'll give you money.
Good. So we're, again, back in the red.
How's $40 sound to you?
Isn't this what the former president just got indicted for? Are we not paying
something?
Hutch money?
Look, things happen.
I'm glad you're okay.
Absolutely my scariest moment of the year, possibly of the rolling decade, definitely of the full decade, possibly of my life.
Yeah, and in full Steve and Kyle podcast and Steve lore, the fact that you decided to keep that from your wife, for her to only find out secondhand via the side gig, is the most exquisite chef's kiss moment for that tale that I could possibly imagine. But you were doing that. I was doing bigger things. You were busy doing, some vanity project, right?
Exactly. I was busy making my neighbors ooh and ah. Meanwhile, you were living out every 12-year-old boy's dream. Going to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And it's as if that wasn't enough. There was a real special monument at this year's SummerSlam.
I need you to understand the marvel that took place just a couple of weeks ago in my life.
I have been waiting for weeks. Ever since you sent me that text that said, the ramp is amazing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what you were talking about. Because it didn't really matter to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually pull up a photo, but maybe I bet you there's video of a wrestler entrance
on the curved ramp.
Listen, when you think wrestling, what's the first thing you think?
Curved ramp.
Thank you, because every event you see, it's this boring straight ramp.
Yeah,
right.
So this one had a little, would you say like a 45-degree turn? 90? I don't know. Can you give me any more than just?
I would argue it was probably in the 40-degree range.
Okay,
right, but here's where you're gonna. And I'm glad you're seated, and I'm glad you have something on top of your head.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't blow all the way to the roof.
Do you want me to put my Steve's hat on?
Say Steve's hat. Yes, okay. Please. Because
hold on. I don't have it on yet. I don't want to blow my top. Okay. All right. I'm good now.
This curve in the ramp took place at the end of it.
Oh, so it almost looked like a fish hook.
Yeah, almost exact. That's a beautiful way to interpret it. Yeah, there are all of these entrance videos of those wrestlers from SummerSlam 2023. A fantastic event, well put on by WWE, horribly put on by Ford Field.
Okay, they didn't.
Just fire hazards.
They dropped the ball.
Fire hazards everywhere. 70,000 people, and I don't think they anticipated the mobs in the hallways. Now, Steve, I mean, this is a sight to behold, Steve.
Why do I not have this picture being sent to me yet?
Oh yeah, let me. That's probably easier. Let me just try to send you the YouTube link of this very long ramp.
Is this something that we can play?
I mean, it's on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, YouTube's like the Wild West. Maybe I'll throw it up there and we'll just keep the sound.
What's the worst that can happen? DCMA? Is that what they're called?
Yeah. The old
copyright strike?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know, who cares? And I am, again, we'll put the link to this in the show notes so you can watch along, because this thing, if I were to estimate.
Look, I hope everyone's sitting down.
If I were to estimate, Steve, I'd give you 60, 70 feet. Straight.
60 or 70 feet, all right.
And then, out of nowhere, you're just sitting there. You're expecting, hey, they're walking up to the ramp, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got to turn.
Did you send that to me yet?
It is, it's in the process. The think brick is functioning.
I hear it over there. I hear it churning away.
Yeah, it is. She's grinded. There, you should have it. Nope.
Texted or
that doesn't seem like it's the correct link. But anyway, take my word for it.
Let's see.
Yeah, that is not the event.
Okay.
That I was at.
Cody Rhodes making an electric entrance at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
How about you just give me a keyword and I can search it on my own over here?
Yeah. You know what? It's coming your way. Coming your way again. Promise you.
Mm-hmm.
Promise you. This is the planning that we do.
Yeah, I mean, a better podcast may have had this link
you'd have to be
saved already.
You're a big dumb jerk. Just a big dumb jerk. Listen, we are happy that this thing is properly.
Put this up on the Tron so we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both
listen, I don't need to watch it. You know why? I was there. Me and 70,000 of my closest friends. Okay,
that's the biggest joke right there.
Getting ready to sing along.
Okay.
To this entrance, and I'm super glad you're sitting down.
Okay, who is this now? Is that you?
Yep, right there in the corner. This is Cody Rhodes, Steve. Now, you may
Cody
know
Rhodes.
his dad, Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes.
The American Dream,
Yeah.
right? Large man. So, I mean, look at this ramp.
All right. First of all, it's not really a ramp. It's just a... Is that downhill at all?
I mean, it probably is, because they're coming from a tunnel down to what would be field height at the football stadium. And I got to tell you, you're just getting started. Oh, never mind. Okay, so we're not going to show the end.
The best part, they didn't even show the...
Cut out the curve! But anyway, it was there. It was beautiful.
Man, I mean, that was worth the wait.
I tried to send you a photo of it, but our seats weren't exactly ramp conducive. You know?
But you'll know for next time now, right? You'll know that...
I don't think I'll ever do it again.
Man, I wish I could have been there to see it. No, I don't. I'm actually pretty happy I didn't.
Next big wrestling show, you're in?
Look, you're going to have to tell me what the ramp situation is.
Yeah, listen, if you're not getting an upwards of 40 to 80 foot ramp that has about a 60-degree curve in it towards the end, I don't want to waste your time as an architecture snob and as an engineering fan. I don't want to waste your time if it's not going to be that eloquent.
Boy, a recurring theme, as we've talked about numerous times already in the year in review episode, episode number 1, is just our business acumen. Am I using that term right? Our business acumen?
Yeah, people usually use acumen when describing something that they would put in the attributes list. So in that regard, it doesn't apply for this, but the word overall works.
Okay. All right. Well, in this case, we tried to boost revenue, get ourselves into the black for the first time in nearly 8 calendar years this year. And so we reached... No, I don't even think we reached out. Somebody reached out to us, and we thought, this seems legit. Let's go for it.
We haven't talked about this. I don't know if it's through negligence or simply... I don't even know if it's talk about worthy for us. But you and I have been running probably the longest tease known to man.
It's such a bait and switch.
And
I'm assuming you're talking about what I'm thinking, Ariful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it turns out that when you have any podcast or any podcast page, whatever, this probably wasn't a thing until, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years ago, like actively reaching out. Mm-hmm. You and I have used Fiverr for a few items. We all remember the logo saga with Steve's gray eyes, and I believe it was like hearts and moons on the bandana.
Yeah, and then no, I didn't. I have like skin colored lips or something. Or
and then they had the nerve to say, "Send more, and I'll do better." But we kept that because in my mind, that was actually better for the podcast than if we got a legitimate intro. Mm-hmm. Or a legitimate logo.
Of course, we connected with our favorite voiceover artist in the UK.
Yep,
Michelle Vaughn,
the best voiceover artist in the UK. But I'm trying
of course,
to
her
open.
name is Melissa Vaughn, not Michelle. Apologies.
I'm trying to pull up our messages to see how long this particular grift has been going on. Because when this whole thing started, we had a few reach out with these similar questions.
Yeah, from time to time when you run when you have a Facebook page, specifically a page.
A lot of people would say when you run a successful business.
You know, that is what some people would say. Yeah, if you're a podcast or anything like that, from time to time you'll get messages from people saying, "Hey, I promote podcasts. Right. I can get you in the Google top whatever for you pay me this amount and I'll guarantee you this many downloads." And I'm sure that there are some legit ones, but for the most part, I think that a lot of them are scams.
I think if we were to try to find a legitimate one, it would have to be not a business, but where they, optimize Google results.
I just don't take them seriously when it's just an individual person messaging me.
Right. So this started, honestly, not that long ago. I thought it was further. It was only in March. But this is
just 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
Yeah. And hello, sir. I'm professional podcast promoter. Not a job. Can't be a professional at that.
Nope.
That means you just have a farm.
I don't know. I mean, I guess
computers.
if you've made money off of it, then yeah, you could be a professional.
Maybe, but guaranteeing numbers implies fraudulence, I think, for this. You cannot guarantee Grandma Maud in, Darwin, Minnesota is downloading this week's episode.
Hey, big hello to our friends in Darwin, by the way.
Grandma Maud, I am so sorry to tell you, the ball of twine is a scam. And one of our listeners is going to bring light to that very, very soon.
When you first said Grandma Maud, I immediately thought you said Grandma Ma. If you remember remember Larry Johnson.
That's right.
As Grandma Ma back in the,
yes.
Was it like a shoe commercial?
Yeah. But
early to mid
90s. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, where Larry Johnson, the basketball player, dressed up as a grandmother.
That's right, Grandma Ma.
And dunked.
And now it's done as just Uncle Drew with Kyrie Irving, but people don't remember that that's a hack ripoff of Grandma Ma.
Yeah, the original.
I've been promoting
Don't even get me started on Little Penny.
Hardaway. I've been promoting podcasts for over 5 years, and I have great experience with podcast promotion. I will advertise your podcast for subscribers, downloads, listeners, ratings.
That's right. He will advertise our podcast.
Our service, #new audience, # lot of organic listeners, many subscriptions, 20K to 25K download monthly, 100% satisfaction, 100% manual work. So he's telling me this is not artificially
juiced. This is not a plug it in and let the AI do its trick.
And we're not going to read every single message. We're trying to get to what is, in my mind, a bigger curve than that SummerSlam 2023 ramp.
Whoa!
Again, your hat's still on. Thank goodness. I just said, hi, Ariful, because that is his name. What is your offer?
Ariful, I believe it's Ariful Islam.
A beer. Yeah. For $500 for a month, you'll get 20K download and 150 ratting and many more new audience.
I do like that high ratting.
And I said, my counter, I just simply replied, $20.
Now, I always am curious with these things because $500 obviously is not just a couple bucks, but I'm always curious on the ones that are a little more reasonable, like when it says $100 and we'll guarantee you, 5,000 downloads or something like that. I'm always a little tempted.
Do we want to try one?
Let's
find one on Fiverr.
Tempted.
Definitely not Ariful. Okay, and you'll find out.
For reasons that we're going to tell you about.
You'll find out
I don't think he's focused on his work.
But we've got some in the coffer.
Yeah.
But do we want to set a budget and go on Fiverr and just artificially juice the numbers?
I kind of do, but I also, I want legit listeners. I want people who are actually listening.
Sure. I mean, we'll vet as well as we can, right?
I don't just want, a computer farm in Turkey just downloading and downloading and downloading. I'd like to have actual listenership. I don't just want numbers.
I am posting this on the poll very fairly. Should we piss away our money on some Middle Eastern bot farm to increase our numbers? We'll see what the listeners have to say.
Yeah. I mean, no idea. No idea what they could say.
He gave me the smiley. He said, what do you say? And I countered 25. Okay? This is how you haggle, folks. Take a note. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, I am not the
offered
savant.
$500.
Yes.
Your counter, $20.
$20. And he said, what do you
Leaves
say?
a lot of room.
Listen, we're meeting in the middle. I think I'm ending this thing at $75. I counter with 25. And he says, my last offer. Boy, it was not. $300 for a month, you'll get 15K download and 100 ratting and many more new audience. And I said, meet me in the middle. $50. And this next screen grab is what sold you on this, gentleman. Because the next screen grab shows the litany of podcasts he worked on. Uh-huh. He shows he worked on, what is this one? The Dateline podcast.
Oh, okay. Dateline, a very well-known NBC property.
And just pointing before and after about downloads and ratings. And
Ratings,
sorry. He said, you made fun of me. And I said, I made fun of nobody. I counteroffered. He said, the offer as you're talking about is not possible. And I said, okay. You said no, thank you. And that's where you jumped in. So this happened over the day, and you said,
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
yeah, exactly. We were both we were tag team. We were good cop, bad cop.
That's right.
Ariful.
And you implied, I can't believe you worked with NBC. Well done. And he said, thank you very much. How much? Max 10K downloads. Which, it ruins any legitimacy for me once you're putting a price on the downloads.
Yeah.
That's not organic.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do? When you tell 10,000 people to download it, you then
shut it off at
kill
the
the rest? And then you said, you tell me. So these 3 offers have now gone from 500 to 300, 170.
Okay. Hey, look, we are. What's our budget? $100? We are inching closer.
We didn't reply for a day. He said, can you pay 150? We didn't reply for 8 days. He countered with question marks, and I told him, Arifel, it's Holy Jetpack Day. It's Easter Sunday.
Of course.
And I'll post that in the poll. Do you solicit podcast growth on Holy Jetpack Day?
I mean, I think it's a little uncouth, personally.
We didn't reply for a month. Kept following up every 3 weeks.
So this really hasn't been drawn out that much. It's just that we don't reply for months at a time.
But also, at some point, there's days that I have time for these scammers or implied scammers. There's time that I'm just, I don't care to do
I always get excited when I'll see my phone buzz and I'll look over and it's a Facebook notification and I see something with Arifel in it because I know that you're up to your old tricks. I know that you must be bored and done with denying people mortgages. So it's always a good day when I notice that.
But we're now to the meat and potatoes, quite literally, of this conversation. And again, a bigger curve than the SummerSlam 2023
I don't
ramp
know about that.
in Detroit. On May 24th, he came back with a comprehensive offer. Apple promotions, 7 days, 1,500 to 2,000 downloads with 30 ratings, $60.
Wow. So we've, just for doing nothing,
literally not replying,
we've gotten him from $500 to $60.
Out for 15 days, 5,000 to 7,000 downloads with 60 ratings, $150. I'm running quick numbers. I feel like if we did multiple of the 7 days, we're going to come out ahead on this. 30 days, 25,000 to 30,000 with 130 ratings, cost $350. His prices we've now received 8 different prices for 12 different packages.
Right, yeah.
If I were to make a spreadsheet of Arifel's offers, they'd be all over the moon. May 24th, that day, 3 hours later, we didn't reply. Until
the incident.
The incident. I don't know how to describe the incident or what I'm looking at. It's a piece of black cloth, some letters in the left half of it, and what appears to be a raised mound underneath.
Arifel sent us a pic. I mean, there's no other way to describe this.
Less delicate than I was trying to phrase it.
I mean,
but listen,
not an out there D-pic, but
is this a picture we could post to our accounts to say this is what this guy sent us?
Yeah, it appears as though he sent us at least a bulge pic.
So it came with words from a foreign language. A statement that I just plugged into Google Translate. I don't know what the actual words are. They translate to, again, this could be incorrect, it's just general Google Translate. If you tear your pants, you will enter your bahudai. Okay?
Boy.
Take from that what you will.
Until I know what bahudai means.
One way to find out.
I mean, it seems like it would have translated.
Bahudai. What is a bahudai? Yeah, no answer I can find quick enough.
All right, so it might be. We'll give it to Arifel. That was probably a typo. Maybe reply to him.
To just that one,
to
you think?
3 months later saying, P.S., what is a bahudai?
Follow that up with that statement, and then again, sorry, boss. I can't delete it. Went to my girlfriend. Sorry. Sat on that thing for, I don't even know how long. It wasn't too long. Where I said, Ariful, is that your dick? And he said, sorry, sir. Shame things went wrong. Listen,
Understatement of the year, Artful. Understatement of the year. A shame things went wrong.
let me figure out how to post that. Is a shame things went wrong.
In quotes, obviously.
When you send a dick pic. The understatement of the year. That'll be on the poll as well.
Oh, good. Good.
Well, at this point, I think we can probably safely say our relationship with Ariful is probably going to be over.
Yeah.
Not
only did he sent it to us thinking that we were his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He then sent a message thinking he was sending it to like his boss, because he said like, "Sorry, boss."
No, I think he was like, that was like a, hey, friendly.
Hey, boss,
yeah,
sorry,
like,
buddy.
hit your buddy on the shoulder,
Okay.
you know?
Okay,
Champ,
okay.
chief, guy.
Okay.
So I told him, I wanted to sign up for your podcast farming service. And then I got an outline of your d-. He said, please delete it from your place. I'm not getting it deleted from here. I'm very ashamed and sorry. Did you think anything? And I said, shock and awe. That's my main interpretation.
So was he asking like, so what'd you think?
Was he asking about his penis or the podcast service?
I think we need to.
We'd follow directly on those.
I think we need to call him.
I mean,
We
I
need
just
to call
woke
him in
up
Messenger
and went to give it to her. Could be the picture, could be the penis. And it went to you by mistake. Then I don't have to delete the smile I was getting. How are you? Didn't answer. Hello? Didn't answer. Ariful, I need a while to process. This is all on May 24th.
It was a big day. Big day for Artful.
And then he followed up on May 25th was how much is your budget for promotion? And I
So
said,
he's just trying to.
he's trying to get back to business.
He's trying to gloss right past this whole thing.
He's moving past the copper right to brass tacks. Okay, this guy wants to get back down to the grindstone and get a deal done.
Yeah.
I had to tell him, Ariful, we aren't even 24 hours removed from a violation of our relationship. Please allow me some time for grieving. He said, should we start now? I didn't answer for a week and a half. He said, what's up, boss? Didn't answer for a week.
Okay, so we're back to boss.
Yes. Are you available for a chat? I said no. He came back in June with a different vigor.
Okay.
Do you need marketing support, full-time social media marketing manager? I'm top-rated social media specialist, Upwork and Fiverr and Personal Heart. Didn't answer. I want to show you my service first with Trail for free. Are you asking for it? Missed opportunity by not replying. Didn't answer your pick. Got that one. Didn't answer. Another week. So now we have another offer, 3,000 to 4,000 downloads with 30 ratings for $100, 15 days for whatever. A lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I think he screwed up. 15 days. He's offering us 14,000 to 15,000 for 90 ratings for $250. Whatever. Again, we now have like 15 different
these are
dollar
all
amounts.
over the place.
He has followed up through July. We haven't answered. And now in August, he has sent us his Fiverr link. Can you order a small package and see... Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to reply to that one. Can you order a small package and see my service, sir? Didn't you already send that to us? Right?
And then maybe copy and paste
The picture? I can do that. So, yes. I've never been... We've gotten a few of these... maybe not directly like podcast farming or whatever... But we've gotten random fake marketing stuff. This is the first one, though, in my career as a podcaster, and maybe your career as a podcaster and side gig host, where it's been a outline of a dick.
Yeah. This was surprising. I got to say, though, I think I trust him.
You know, you've hit a low point when you can't even get through a month-long negotiation with a Middle Eastern engagement farmer without seeing a picture of his Johnson.
Look, I said it in the segment. I'm saying it again. I trust him.
This guy has business acumen.
He does.
Written all over him.
He's got the business acumen. We need that business acumen. Absolutely.
We are only trying to reach the depths of the globe. And Arifel, the guy who sends pictures of his shielded junk, is clearly the man to take us that next step.
Barely shielded, by the way.
Yes.
Very barely shielded. We still have that saved in our... Should we post that? Did we ever post it?
I believe we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll post it again when this episode goes live. But in this next segment here, you needed to come to me to ask me if you were owed a thank you in this scenario.
Yeah.
And I think we did a pretty good job figuring it out.
We left last week with me asking you a very vague, open-ended question.
Oh, that's right.
And I want to ask if you pondered that whatsoever.
I did. It's funny. That popped in my head midway through the week. Mm-hmm. And you had asked if I was owed a thank you for anything. Or if I feel like somebody...
If you feel like you're owed a thank you.
If I feel like I'm owed a thank you. And I seriously thought about this for a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because once that popped in my head, I couldn't get it out of my head. And I don't think that I am. I don't think that there's anything that like, you know, I've helped somebody with a favor where they haven't said thank you or, you know, like, hey, I forgot my wallet. Pick up this tab. Yeah, no problem. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I want to lay out a scenario for you. And
okay.
I want to preface it by saying I'm conflicted on how this should have gone, how I should have felt about this.
And I'm still nervous about this because even though you said that it did not involve me, I feel like this is going to be the old Kyle judo flip, and I'm going to be made to look like an idiot.
No, there is no red herring here. There's no bait and switch. This is a totally outside scenario that I'm just curious your opinion on.
Okay.
And I'll say this: I don't think I acted weirdly at all about it.
Okay. So you didn't put up a stink about it?
No, goodness.
Okay.
I would never do that. A couple of weeks ago, met my parents out for dinner. This is me, my wife, and son Reed. Mm-hmm. And went to the local tavern right by the house here.
Yep.
And sat down. My parents were already there. We went and sat down and noticed on our walk-in, a table, a somewhat large table, with kind of in the middle a girl with a sash around.
Okay, so like bachelorette or...
Very clearly sitting with her two parents and did not have like the... You could kind of tell, like, see, age wasn't going to say getting married.
Sweet 16 maybe?
21.
Oh, okay.
So, because you could see that, you know, parents had either ordered her a drink or something like that.
Yep. Out on her 21st birthday, no doubt having her first legal drink ever.
So we sat down, and waitress came by, took our drink orders, and came back, and I was looking at the menu, and I said, so when she came back with her drink, I was like, hey, can I order, it doesn't matter, the name, generic shot with
whatever.
16 drinks in it, or 16 things in it. Turns out it wasn't a shot, it was on the shot list,
okay.
But it's one of those, like, half glasses.
Okay, so it's like almost like a goblet, and there's like
and it's got,
scuba divers swimming through it, and then, you know, fish and all kinds of stuff.
And it's got Red Bull and orange juice and
probably
vodka
some rum and
so to the point where you can't taste anything because it's just blowing your mind with flavor.
Yeah, probably
Whatever.
very good, but if you're diabetic, don't even look at it because
And I say, can I order that for that girl over there for her birthday? And I said, and if it's not her birthday, just bring it here.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't want it to seem like I was buying some, you know, girl who just got her driver's license and alcoholic drink with her parents right there. Right.
Yep.
So
exactly. You have to make sure you got to know 100% that it is her 21st birthday,
Yeah.
she is legal to drink alcohol. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not a child.
And while I'm not worried about whatever interpretations, because I'm there with my wife and kid and my parents,
Sure.
it's still just
Yeah,
didn't want that to even happen.
No, you're not hitting on her or anything.
So I tell her, she goes, yep, sure. And I don't really see her again related to that. We see my parents, who are sitting facing this girl, see the drink brought out and delivered to her in front. And that's that. That's the end of it.
Yep. Did the important to ask, did the waiter or waitress that your parents could see indicate in any way, like, did they see the kind of the point over, like, oh, this is, this person over there sent it and they said happy birthday? Or did this person whose birthday it was, did they have any idea where this drink came from?
I don't know. Because, again, I'm facing away.
Okay.
So I don't know. So at that point, I see the drink is now there. Read, he's 4.5. So, go to the bathroom, yada, yada. So you're up constantly. Anywhere you go, it's never actually going anywhere to sit down and enjoy anything. So you see the drink, you're like, oh, that's obviously the drink, because it's, a colorful disaster of alcohol.
Looks like a rainbow.
Yeah, that I would have loved in my early 20s.
Sure.
But if I drank it now, I'd probably vomit.
Yep. Oh, Fizz would have bought this for so many people.
There would have been so many bartenders and waitresses.
Yo, Sadie, you banging.
Who would have adored this, like, $8 shot drink thing.
Okay.
So I'm not irritated, but I'm then kind of wondering, I'm like, one, do they know? Two, are they, are they going to say anything?
For me,
it's a mystery drink to them.
For me, it all depends on whether the server told them who it came from. Because if the server just dropped it off and said, here, someone bought you this, and then pieced out, which is weird because I don't know, I feel like if I'm the one receiving that, I'm going to say, well, who sent it?
Precisely. I think there's some column A and column B and I'm not saying in terms of blame. Blame is not the right term. In terms of responsibility here, like,
it would be one thing if you said, hey, send this drink over to that nice young woman over there for her birthday. Don't tell her where it came from.
Sure.
Just say another bar patron bought it for you.
If you want the thankless gesture, I don't.
Right. You want the thanks.
You're darn right. I want the thanks gesture.
All right. So now this is evolving.
That's not entirely true.
So you're only.
I don't want to.
So you only do nice things with the anticipation that someone is going to say something nice to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, standard social interaction, right? Do something nice.
Right.
Say thank you.
So you're a guy
what do you teach?
So
what
if
do you teach your 3.5-year-old Steve? Do you teach her to say thank you and please?
Yep.
That's what I thought. Because you'd be a total butt if you didn't.
So, to be clear, you're the guy that, say it's a week before Christmas and you're walking into the store to pick something up and there's a bell ringer outside, ding dong, ringing the bell for the Salvation Army. You're going to give them money, but you're going to take a selfie of yourself as you're dropping money in the kettle, post it on every social media and say, that's right. That's right, everybody. This guy is generous. You want people to know.
Yeah, I think you took it one step too far. I'm not putting money in that kettle. I know the Salvation Army is as corrupt as it gets.
So maybe giving him an IOU.
I'm saying, hey, toss me a Tootsie Roll and maybe I'll give you cash. They still handing out Tootsie Rolls for those?
I believe that is another organization.
Okay, so I'm not getting anything from this interaction outside of some corrupt CEO probably taking a couple $1 million bonus while these poor retired folks just ring this bell for hours outside the grocery store.
Okay, so the issue here is that, again, you only do nice things because you want the recognition.
No, not specifically. I'm just saying I think that should be part of the entire interaction.
It's very selfless of you.
No, I wanted to...
honestly, if I'm in your situation and I know for a fact that the server said it came from that guy in the lion's hat and I don't get a thank you, F off.
Then you're perturbed.
Then I'm perturbed.
Right?
Because that is standard interaction 101. Your parents teach you from a very young age. If somebody does something nice for you, you say thank you.
Sure.
Even if you don't like the drink, even if it was the worst drink in the world.
This girl is not on her way to being a booze hound either.
Yeah.
I saw... Let me take some of the onus off of this recently 21-year-old person. This started as what appeared to be parents and her, and maybe like one other person was there. It slowly became very busy for her.
So it was like friends,
down,
family showing up. So.
Very occupied.
Okay.
So I don't. While I think you're correct on the first part of this interaction, saying if someone hands me a drink, I'm going to say, "What? Where's this from?"
Tell me about the like the ambiance there. Was it crowded? Because you said it was a bar.
Wasn't too bad.
Like a restaurant bar.
Yeah,
how many people total? How many people total would be in there?
We were in kind of an outdoor patio annex area. 20-some total.
I think if that's me, and I receive a mystery drink, and maybe it's just because I don't know. I think I would actually stand up and do the, hey, whoever sent this, thank you.
Yeah, and then take a swig or something.
Yeah, now I don't expect everybody to do that because there are plenty of people that aren't comfortable in that situation, such as you. I know that you hate being the center of attention.
I despise being acknowledged.
If she knew where the drink came from and did not, I'm not saying she's got to come over and like have a conversation with you.
And you know me, I don't want anything less than that.
No, but just an acknowledgement. If you turn around, you happen to make eye contact, just like a head nod and a cup in the air, a cheers type thing. Thank you. There's too much unknown about the scenario for me to be able to give my opinion on it.
So meal's finished. We're about to...
I have a solution, though, so I look forward to giving you the solution.
Do you want to hear how it actually ended, or do you want to give me what you think the solution should have been?
How long ago was this?
2 weeks?
I think you call the restaurant and dispute the charges on the credit card. What would you say it was, $8?
Listen, inflation. Drinks aren't cheap. I think it was probably like $8.
I don't think it's out of the question. You kindly explain to them. They'll understand. If you say, look, I bought somebody a drink and they did not say thank you.
Oh, sir. I'm sorry. Right? And then I'm getting a voucher in the mail for, a couple free meals out of the deal.
A couple free meals. Wow. Yeah, and if the restaurant does nothing about it, which they will because it's the right thing to do, you call the credit card company. You dispute those charges to the highest authority that you can find.
And I'm willing to say, I'll get this place shut down if they don't. Right?
I'll claim they have rats in their food. Yeah. Okay, so that's how you resolve the problem, I'm assuming?
So meal is, finished, and we're all getting up to go. And we're going to walk past this table.
Oh, boy. Oh, no.
No, I don't think there's anything embarrassing.
You flip the table?
I smashed 2 fists on there and said, "You're welcome."
You do the thing where you pull the tablecloth out from under their food, but you do it purposely slowly so it all just falls on the floor.
Boy, I used to be able to do that. Have a good night. And walk out. So, as we're walking
Maybe rip
out...
the sash off of her.
I believe this is partially mine. As we're walking out, passing the table, I forget exactly. I think I just say, I kind of lean over to the table and say, "Happy birthday. Hope you enjoyed the drink."
Oh, boy, that's a bold move.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done it.
They were very appreciative. I think it lends a little credence to the idea that the waitress...
They didn't know where it came
from. Just
from.
dumped it off.
Yeah.
So I still think there's a little column A, little column B that... I don't know. I typically ask if I get a drink, like, "Hey, where's that? Who sent it?"
At that point, did they say, "Oh, thank you"? Okay.
Yes, it was like a realization.
Okay.
But again, this interaction, the whole thing, 5 to 8 seconds. Right? That's how long it took because I'm walking and following a toddler out
I
the
think
door.
I think everything's good. I think that
Do you think I should still be mad at the waitress? Because I kind of am.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, you're shifting your blame. I mean, it's hard to blame anybody else. And look, I love blaming people.
I believe we used to play something called the Steve Blame game on this very podcast.
I love throwing blame
Sure.
at everybody in any situation. It's someone else's fault. It's not my fault. It's someone else's fault. Do you want to go back there?
I don't think it's...
Oh, I got an idea.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Okay, so this week, we'll pick a night when you're free, when we're free. You guys go to the same place. We'll show up a couple minutes later, get a table a few over from you. Obviously, make it not obvious that we're in cahoots.
Sure.
People still say that, in cahoots.
I can tell you, you and I are riding that wave of chick babe cahoots.
I don't know. That feels like something that is racist now.
Cahoots is in
cahoots.
I'll post that. I mean, we're putting it out there, so if it is racist, we'll just have to delete this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're not...
Just say, is cahoots racist?
Is in cahoots racist, because I don't want to toe the line of crisscross applesauce.
Right, yeah.
Where we got to come up with something new. But now we've said cahoots enough that if it turns out that cahoots is racist, we're going to have a lot of editing to do.
Yeah, before the end of this podcast, before this thing gets posted, just know.
Please vote, because boy, oh boy, of all the things that we're going to be canceled for.
Imagine if this is it.
Saying cahoots.
380-something episodes. They finally get us.
Also, is there any universe where you and I could be even hypothetically canceled? We already lose money. We post this to nobody. What are we exactly canceling?
Yeah.
We might as well just come out here with the dumbest takes ever. Like, women shouldn't be able to vote. Who cares? What are you going to do? Take more of our money?
Yeah. Like, I'm already in the red.
We're already the worst, man.
Okay, so you show up with Katie and Reed.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 minutes later, I'll show up with my family. Mm-hmm. Make sure that we get seated in the same area.
Right.
And maybe I'll say to Evelyn, like, let's sing Happy Birthday to Mama. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday to you. And then you do that, huh? What?
Realization look.
It's somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
We'll stage this entire thing again. Okay. Make sure you have the same waitress. There's a lot of things that have to...
We're going to need a lot to go right.
Say, I believe that it's that lady's birthday. Please send her a rainbow fruity drink. And we'll see. I'll record the conversation, which I'm pretty sure is illegal in this state. Uh-huh. When the server comes over, drops off that drink, and I'll let you know. Yeah, she told us who it was from. And in that case, you're disputing those credit card charges.
So this is how we remedy the situation?
Yeah, it's a scientific method. There's a hypothesis. There's the climax or whatever. Scientific theory.
So the two parts of the scientific method are their hypothesis and the climax. Okay. Boy, my mistake. I thought there was a hypotenuse in there, but now that I think about it, I think that's just a shape.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's safe to say that I've done my good deed for the year.
Right. Well, as we talked about, the only reason you do nice things is because you want recognition for them, which is the whole reason that we talked about that in the first place.
Yeah, I got that in September, so I even beat Q4 on
Good
my
job.
good deed for the year. So I am.
Okay.
My hands are officially wiped clean.
Yeah.
You're welcome, newly 21-year-old girl, on that one random drink I bought you.
Look, 2023 was a big year for a lot of reasons. One, you got your good deed in before Q4, which I know is always a goal of yours.
Yeah, well, listen, you're ahead of the game.
For me, this was a huge year. Now, we talked earlier about how I made a friend with my geriatric Italian neighbor.
Yeah, Mike DiVincenzo Pavarotti.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's not the only friend I made this year.
You said last week you had some breaking news
Breaking news
on the Zach.
in the Zach.
In a cul-de-sac, a little up the road, there's a guy named Steve who you may or may not know. His neighbors knew him from his side gig show. When Steve moved in, away they all to go. The birders, the widow, and the volleyball players, the silent neighbors and the secret layer. Just wave your hand, just wave your hand. Hey, Zach! Got a folding card table and 2 microphones. Hey, Zach! Got 2 dead neighbors, the others moved away. Hey, Zach! Got a folding card table and 2 microphones. Hey, Zach! Got 2 dead neighbors, the others moved away.
Never gets old.
Boy, the birders getting a reference there after they got referenced last week in the actual podcast, which is remarkably rare. We haven't talked about the birders in years, but in case you're wondering, that's right. The hairy woodpecker spotted no local.
Thanks to the bird board for... You have notifications turned on for bird board?
I think I'm going to try to figure out bird board notifications just for the birder behind you. Right?
Like, yeah, you get an immediate push notification whenever she posts.
Yeah, if she posts that she found a new, yellow-bellied, one-tailed hawk, I'm the first to know.
Right.
Before husband, who is obviously not a preeminent birder, I'm getting notified.
I mean, how many preeminent birders can there be, really?
And at what point is enough? So this breaking news that you talked about, I need to know what's going on in the Zach. I feel like I'm pretty up on the times around here. I see it once a week. It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Tell me what's going on in the Zach this fall that is so urgent.
Where to begin?
Hopefully somewhere near the end. No offense.
No, none at all. So last week, Annette was running some errands, and it was a beautiful day. So I was like, I think I'm just going to take the kids outside. We're going to play in the front yard. We're going to do some sidewalk chalk, play some wiffle ball, a little t-ball in the front yard.
Beautiful. It's very nice of you.
Yeah, we got the little basketball hoop out there. Not Annette, that's my wife. Evelyn, my daughter, for reasons unknown, has seemed to have taken a liking to basketball, which, okay.
I'm struggling to see where that could have come from in the family lineage.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
If I remember, doesn't one of your nephews play?
Mm-hmm. They both do.
But that's it.
Yeah.
And that's youth. It's not like,
exactly.
Brother Mike's got him on the travel roster
No.
cutting highlights together. And
No.
Okay.
So we're out there, and Evelyn's in the driveway shooting hoops, because she's a basketball star now. Nikki was walking around up by the front door, so I was kind of hanging close to him. And all of a sudden, Evelyn came darting back over to me. I was like, what's going on? She was having a lot of fun. And she didn't really say anything, but she kind of looked over to the driveway. And I was like, what's going on? But I was up by the front door, so I had to kind of take a couple steps out and look around.
Okay.
Look around. There's a little kid standing in our driveway.
Okay. You're in a neighborhood, and you're way too friendly. I'm not stunned this happened.
So I immediately recognized that it's the neighbor's little boy.
Can you give me a direction? Not the Frisboers? Oh, no.
The Frisboers.
Oh, boy.
And I thought,
do I have to start not referring to them as that now? Because I
don't know.
Oh, no. What did you do?
So
tell me you did.
So I see this little kid standing there. He's roughly 2. I was like, hey, buddy, how are you? He just kind of stands there and smiles. Cute kid.
Sounds like not socially adept. Right. Stairs. Probably drool hanging out.
No, there's no drool to be seen. So I look a little bit further, and there's one of the neighbors standing there. So I was like, oh, hey, how are you?
You just couldn't help yourself, could you? Because this is the part of the story where you and I would differ.
Right, exactly.
Now, I'm already angry. Like, I haven't...
Of course you're... Yeah, I mean, of course, you default to rage. I mean...
Angry is not the correct word.
No, it's very much the correct word for you.
I'm already thinking, I haven't talked to him for years. Why now? Right? So I'm either I'm already looking for an out. Hand flailing in the air, waving away, right?
So, well, because my first thought was, oh no, this kid like wandered out of the house and he's over here. But then I saw that his mom was right behind him and said, hey, how are you? And she said, oh, I'm good. How are you? And then we proceeded to have a 10-minute conversation.
God.
Now, these are people that I've lived next to for 4 years almost. And there's never been more than just a, hello, how are you? See you later. Bye. You know, as one of us is walking down the street.
I didn't even know it was that much. The last I heard was
really a wave.
Really the last interaction was when there's some pulling out of the driveway and a look the other way. This was right after they moved in, right?
It seemed like it, yeah.
Smart people.
So it was bizarre. It was as if they were old friends and we just hadn't seen each other in a while.
Okay.
Normal conversation. Talked for, again, 10 minutes. And then the kids were kind of interacting, but they're at that age where they don't really...
There's nerves and, there's
well,
a lot going on, right?
They play around each other. They don't really play with each other yet. And then they were like, all right, well, we got to get back and go eat some lunch. I was like, all right, see you later. And then as they were... Because during this time, I was talking to the wife for the first couple minutes. Well, then the husband walked over, which surprised me. And he took part in the conversation. And, then they were going to leave. And they said, all right, well, got to go eat lunch. See you later. Hey, if we're ever outside and the kids want to come over and play, that's more than happy to... I said, oh, that's great. Hey, same goes for you, too. And then they went back in the house. Mm-hmm. And about 10 minutes later, the dad was out in the driveway with the son again. I think they were like going to get the mail or something.
Did you jog out there?
No, we were still out there.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, they were inside.
We hadn't gone inside.
Gotcha.
And I could see the son kind of like pulling at the dad and pulling him in our direction. And then they came back over. And I talked to dad for another 10 minutes. And things were great. It's finally happened.
What do you think happened?
I have become friends with them.
What do you think happened then in the
I don't know.
Previous 4 years?
4 years.
Like, was it a witness protection issue?
Maybe.
Was it a...
I mean, look...
Did they have a heart to heart and say, hey, listen, honey, we have no friends. Our kids are driving us up a wall. Push them outside.
Maybe.
Let's go talk to people, right?
I mean, we... And it was like, talked about, he was talking about the daycare that they send their son to. And,
sure.
Asking about what school Evelyn is in and how we like that. And it was like actual normal neighborly conversation. But I was so thrown off. I was like, man, where did this come from? But I'm happy.
I would, of course you are.
I got another friend. God. And there's no such thing as too many.
What are the names? First names. You get them?
Oh, I know their first names.
Good.
I've known their first names.
Oh, got it. So it was a similar situation as what we maybe talked about last week, where eventually maybe they didn't introduce, so you did you do a tiny bit of digging yourself to figure out the names?
I believe that you did.
Oh, I may have. Well, no, you may have. I think you knew them from, or you got their name from.
Oh,
the very first interaction was on one of those neighborhood apps.
Yes.
And you liked one of their... Or you commented on their thing.
Yeah, I said like, hey, neighbor.
Well, and then there was either a silence or like a liked comment, and then it went away or something like that. Like,
post deleted.
Their intentions were very clear that they did not want to interact.
Yeah, and then and I remember we talked about it on the podcast. I slipped you the name. You did some research.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd say I'm happy for you if I didn't think this was the worst development to happen in a long time.
Pretty good, right? Pretty good.
I would argue of the two friends you made this year, that was the bigger of upset of the two, because I could see how maybe Mike DiVincenzo Pavarotti, maybe you have an Italian smell to you on the property line.
Yeah, it's gabagool.
And he knew at some point he had to approach and find his Italian brother. But making amends, not even amends, but making friends with the neighbor Whitsec Frisboers was an upset. I did not have it on my bingo card.
Kyle, just wait until our first episode of 2024. Because I have an update on the update.
Oh my god! I need to do it right now.
Normally here in these year in review episodes, we don't drop teasers for the A-bit, but it could be the A-bit of 2024.
And that is like a 2575. That's a tease right there.
So about halfway through the year, we started getting money hungry.
Yeah.
And dropping more ads in the podcast here. Yeah. And we don't really have control over what ads get played. So we were very surprised when I believe it was our friend Dan Scheich sent us this audio recording of an ad that played during this very podcast.
You and I have been making a concerted effort recently to simply drop in some automated ads. It gives us a few shekels on the back end every few months. It's not, trust me, it's not much. And they play, we just drop a marker, they put some ads in for us.
And when we say it's not, like, I will be fully transparent, we get a check for every 3 months? Or is it?
I think we get paid every month.
Okay. But it is maybe, I think on the high end, we've gotten like $40.
Oh, I think that's high end.
Yeah.
We are mostly in the teens to low to mid 20s in terms of what these are now, providing us.
Again, we've talked about this before. If we wanted to, we could probably monetize this and make more money off of it.
A lot of work.
Honestly, it does not interest me because then it becomes another job. I don't want it to be another job. Yeah. I enjoy sitting down, recording for a bit, posting it, and seeing what people's reactions are. Yeah. I don't want another job. I already have one.
Yeah, it's why the gag that I wanted to do with getting us in Valpak like 6 months ago fell through because I sent them an email from the contact sheet they had in there.
Yeah.
And they want to set up a phone call. Like, I don't want to do the last time we did one of those, we talked to our friend Joe, Billboard Joe, down in Ohio, who helped us out in Van Wert. Mm-hmm. I'm not dealing with Valpak sales execs.
No,
Send me a one-sheeter with how many homes I can get into for like $200 with our idiot faces and a QR code on a slip of paper.
Yeah.
Right? That's all I want in my life.
That's all we need.
So I don't listen back to these, Steve, and I think we probably have some boxes checked on this advertising system to allow essentially anything in.
You can, from what I remember, there weren't a lot of options, but I think that you could exclude yourself from getting certain kinds of ads.
Or offering yes.
Yeah, yes. Like, do we want advertisements for dick pills? Like,
yes.
I don't care. It doesn't really matter to me.
And we're shameless whores, so we check them all yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we don't listen back to these. So, our friend of the podcast, Dan Scheich, sent me a Snapchat yesterday or whenever it was with some audio from when he was listening back to a recent episode.
Oh, boy.
And it so jarred me that I was laughing out loud in my kitchen yesterday, Steve.
Okay.
So, listen to this piece of audio from, I think it was a mid-roll ad, which is the one that happens right in the middle of our episode, that he sent us from a recent episode.
Okay. So is this just the ad, or am I going to...
No, there's like 20 seconds of us.
Okay.
Move over here, and I'm glad you're not holding the grudge. She's the one who fell back asleep.
Look.
But again, remember, like you said, not your fault.
I can't be blamed for my sleep cycles. Okay,
not your fault, like you said.
All right. So just looking at the audio, it seems like this is the point where it now goes into the ad.
Yep, so this is the ad.
For my sleep cycles.
Not your fault, like you said.
Hi, folks. Martin Parlato, host of the Lighthouse Retirement Hour. If you like...
Wait a minute. The Lighthouse Retirement Hour?
So right there you stop it. And this is what I might... Like, what do you think that would be about?
The Lighthouse Retirement Hour.
In my mind, that's a financial guy. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a financial guy who geo-targets, like, the villages in Florida.
Right. Like,
He's trying to get people to invest and, cash out their pensions and 401ks.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Better Call Saul, he runs like one of his first scams. He runs friendly and up to old people in nursing homes and essentially getting them to like be part of a class action lawsuit against these companies.
Yeah.
In my mind, this guy is offering advice to those same people.
Okay. All right. Let's do it from the top.
Hi, folks. Martin Parlato, host of the Lighthouse Retirement Hour. If you like boring radio and you're a whiny, crybaby, woke socialist who maybe voted for Joe Biden...
I've never seen. Listen. I live in Michigan. I haven't seen a U-turn that hard in my life. I don't know what the Lighthouse Retirement Hour. I still don't know what it is. I already know I'm not listening to it anyway. But that was the most jarring turn I've ever heard.
I need to. Okay, it's going to be difficult, but I want to listen to this ad start to finish.
Yeah, without stopping.
I feel like anything could come up next. Yeah. He could say, "Come on out and join me to drive monster trucks." Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
See you at the fair.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, folks. Martin Parlato, host of the Lighthouse Retirement Hour. If you like boring radio and you're a whiny, crybaby, woke socialist who maybe voted for Joe Biden, you're going to hate my radio show. But if you like the opportunity to try and make mo money, then right here on News Radio 97.7 WTKS Savannah, Saturdays at 6 a.m. for Part 1. Parts 1 and 2 together on Sunday morning starting at 10 a.m. is the place to be. Podcasts are available at lighthouseretirement.com.
Whoa. Martin Parlato. So peeling back the radio curtain a little bit, that is, his radio show is 100% paid. He is buying that time.
Yeah.
There's no question about it, just so everybody knows.
Yeah,
before you get mad or whatever at that local radio station in Savannah, 97.7, what's the terminology?
It's called brokered radio.
Right.
So if I've talked about that with when I first started in radio, one of my first jobs was it's called board hopping, running the board on a Saturday morning for a talk show called Health Matters with Dr. Michael Glynn and Dr. Thomas de Blasio. And they were two doctors, and they had an hour of time, and they would talk about certain health topics, like, hey, if like what would you do? Oh, COVID. What should we do? Do you get the COVID shot? Do you not get the COVID? Obviously, this was 20 years ago, so it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, it was stuff like that. And one of them, I think, was I don't even know what kind of doctors they were. It doesn't matter. But yeah, they would buy that time instead of buying a commercial on the radio station, which is 30 seconds or 60 seconds long. They would buy an entire hour. They would do their show. That hour was completely up to them. They owned that hour. Mm-hmm. So they could run their own commercials that they sell. Maybe they had a contact with a local physical therapist.
Right. So, I mean, outside of an ad, obviously, there's going to be checks and balances that, they're not, hey, KKK here
right,
chiming in. But to your point, they sell their own space.
They own the hour. They can sell their own advertising. So say they buy that hour for $1,000 a week, but they make $3,000 a week in advertising. Like, that money that they make is their money.
Yeah.
But they are not getting paid directly by the radio station or the company that owns the radio station.
But it's very, I think, for Martin Parlato, he definitely is assuming this is some status symbol to say, hey, listen to my radio show.
It definitely is, yeah.
When he is paying for time, so everybody's aware. But one more time, let's listen back to that ad, because I can't thread the first half to the second half, and I'm struggling to figure out why those people are not welcome to listen to a financial advice show.
Yeah, it is weird. It's taking two things and mashing them together.
Yeah, very much so. It's very odd.
Hi, folks. Martin Parlato, host of the Lighthouse Retirement Hour. If you like boring radio and you're a whiny, crybaby, woke socialist who maybe voted for Joe Biden, you're going to hate my radio show. But if you like the opportunity to try and make mo money, then right here on News Radio 97.7 WTKS Savannah, Saturdays at 6 a.m. for Part 1. Parts 1 and 2 together on Sunday morning starting at 10 a.m. is
Sunday at 10 a.m. Okay, tomorrow is Sunday.
Can we tune in?
I kind of want to listen to it.
You said 10 a.m. parts 1 and 2?
Yeah.
I think we should do our best to tune in. What is there a market?
Should we call in?
Well, it's obviously recorded, right?
Hi, I'm a crybaby, whining liberal.
We would need the exact audio from how we described it. I guess thanks, Martin, for buying ad space on this little podcast here. Very much appreciated. I thought that was funny. Thank you so much to Dan for sending that along. That made me laugh.
There's more of this clip here.
Yeah, I think there was another ad. I don't think it was nearly.
Podcasts are available at Lighthouse Retire.
Personally, I like how he says, if you want to make mo money and podcasts available.
Podcast.com.
Hey, hey, it's Donna from Daily Dose of Donna. Every weekday afternoon on the Daily Dose of Donna podcast, I cover all of the reality TV. And
Daily Dose of Donna.
God, can you imagine talking about reality TV every day?
That's all there was in the clip. So.
Holy God, am I bored already?
Oh, God, that is amazing.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Dan, that might be your greatest contribution in life.
Oh, no, quite. Well, listen, there's 0 bands who have appreciated his work as much as we just appreciated that. So thank you so much.
Sorry, Dan. Tweak that knob a little to the left.
Yeah, honestly, that was a little, the audio quality on that was a little subpar.
The Lighthouse Retirement Hour with, what's his name? Morgan? Martin?
Marty?
Marty?
Seems like a Marty, right? Like
He
if
does.
you're doing that type of shock jockey stuff, which I think is a lane you and I have missed.
I just don't understand the connection between retirement and woke socialists.
That's right.
Who voted for Joe Biden.
Well, listen, I think
don't
you
know.
and I need to start incorporating a little bit more, maybe that bartered time on this podcast. And we can get old Marty Parr, get on here. He can spout whatever he needs to.
You want to let him take over the feed?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, anything for a buck. We are not above it as we endeavor in the 8th year of this thing to finally try to make a little bit of money. And that's right.
2024, that's the year.
You heard me correctly. 8th year we're doing this. So it makes sense that right about now is where you and I should figure out how we're going to define our relationship. Because we've known each other for about 13 going on 14
Long
years
time.
now.
Long time.
So are we friends? Or are we just acquaintances?
We were trying to figure out if we're friends
That's right.
or mere acquaintances.
Yeah, we were talking about the viral post that went that was going around about the man who went golfing with another man who just called him Hammer after a year of calling him Kirkland, but that was just the brand of his golf ball.
Okay.
And didn't know if he had a wife, didn't know if he had a kid.
Why
had
was
no
he
idea.
Hammer?
I don't know. I think he said I call him Hammer. I don't know if that's his first name or his last name.
I mean, we can assume it's not his first name.
They
right?
and he had said that all he does is text and say golf ? And they plan on golf. But other than that, that's it.
And when they're on the golf course, it's, hey, nice ball.
Yep.
Or
You're in the trees.
did you hit a birdie?
Yeah, right.
Like, that's it. Doesn't know anything else about him.
And that got us to wondering, what are we? Because
Yeah.
we've known each other now for since January of 2010.
Yeah. So, a Lola lifetime.
Yes, we have essentially known each other as long as you had Lola.
Yeah. So that is we've already coined the rolling century on
right.
the show.
The Rolling Lola.
Yeah. How about the Lola lifetime?
Yeah, I don't feel good about that one.
The
So
Lola lifetime is a baker's dozen of years.
that's right. That's right. We could call it the Baker's Dozen, but why wouldn't we continue to invoke the sadness and emotion of your deceased dog
yeah.
at every possible turn?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, they say that talking about it helps you through the grieving process.
Certainly someone somewhere has said that. But it got us to wondering what we actually are.
Yeah.
Because the long-running gag here is that I haven't made a friend since you in 2010, but now we need to really nail that down.
I don't think that that's a gag. Honestly, I think that that's pretty accurate.
Well, but now we need to nail down, are we even friends?
Okay.
So we decided that we're each going to pick 10 questions, 10 friend questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I found a kind of a summary list of 40 questions. We each picked 10 random
I just don't
ones.
think you're doing this justice
Okay,
because it's time to play the Are We Best Friends or Just Acquaintances game.
That's right. Welcome back. Your host, Chuck Tomfoolery. What was his name?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. Chuck.
I know it was Chuck.
I believe it was Woolery.
Oh my gosh, right there. Tip of my tongue, I feel like. If I had just, given myself another 10 seconds, I'd have nailed it.
We definitely need some Chuck Tomfoolery merch.
Oh my god. Yeah, we do need to design a game show host, Chuck Tomfoolery, and he's he's got a stupid rubber nose on.
Plaid jacket.
Yep. Grease comb over hair.
Yeah, his microphone is a rubber chicken.
That's right. And he then has, again, a clown nose.
onto those because he's just waiting to pull some gags on you during the game.
All right, so it's time to play the Are We Best Friends or Merely Acquaintances game.
Yeah, and so we haven't really fleshed this out outside of we each picked 10 random questions. There's probably some overlap.
Yeah.
And so I figured the way we'll do it, Steve, is I'll ask you a question. Mm-hmm. You'll answer what you think would be for me.
Yeah.
Right? So let's start it, and then we'll go back and forth just to make sure we can each get equal footing here.
Okay. All right.
Let me give you the first question, Steve. This is a simple one, easy one. Mm-hmm. What do I order at a bar?
Oh.
And I even wrote down 2 answers because I figure give you a little flexibility.
Okay, how because you're typically a beer guy.
Yeah.
Do I need to be more specific than that? Like what kind of beer?
No.
I know that if you're somewhere and there's Yingling, that's a no-brainer.
Yes.
That's a go-to. You're going to that. For a mixed drink, boy, I don't know. Probably I don't know. Like a Jack and Coke or something?
I put down a mixed drink of an old fashioned.
Okay.
But the main answer is beer.
Look at that. We nailed it.
We are well on our way to friendship, Steve.
Okay.
13 years in the making, one little lifetime in the making.
Enough with the applause. Thank you very much. Whew. All right. It's funny that you picked that as your first question because I also picked that as my first question. If I'm at a bar, what is my go-to order?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Steve. That's a Crown and 7-Up.
Hey. Well, Crown and Sprite, but...
Isn't it? Okay, lemon lime drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I don't want to jump the gun here, but I think we just stop it right now and call ourselves friends and we wash our hands of this.
Okay. Well, thank you for... I'm Chuck Tomfoolery.
I don't see any way we're going to keep up the pace of each of us nailing the first answers.
No.
Steve, the second question I have for you. If I have 1 hour to spend $5,000, where am I going?
If you have an hour to spend $5,000, God, it's got to be something comic book related. I think you're oh boy, or movie related, but there's not really a $5,000 movie that you can go to.
I have to rent out an IMAX for myself, something like that.
I think you're going to go to a comic book shop and you're going to buy the nicest damn comic they have.
Oh, Steve, I regret to inform you that I'm going to go piss it all away at the casino.
Okay. So batting 500 still gets you in the Hall of Fame.
That's why I said we should have just called it at 1. We're definitely going acquaintance now. And we don't have a barometer. I think it's just going to be how we feel afterwards. There's not a number to say, you got 6, you're friends.
Yeah.
6 out of 10 feels like a failure for knowing someone for 13 years, right?
It definitely does. All right, well, licking my wounds. Moving on to question number 2 for you.
Yeah.
And that is going to be, which fashion decision was my biggest mistake? And I don't mean just in the time we've known each other.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with the long hair. I forget the era. I don't know if that was college, Steve. I'm going to go with the long flowing where it was,
Yeah.
oh, no, I'm sorry. Not long flowing. Would you describe it as a part?
Yeah, of course.
The parted hair.
The part down the middle.
Yeah!
I
think everybody's that way, though, where you see that. I mean, were you before or after the frosted tips phase of life?
That was right in my time.
Were your parents, did they allow you to get the frosted tips?
Frosted tips? I think no, but I have a great picture of me and my buddy Len at my junior prom. And I mean, we have the tuxedos and everything, and he had his hair was like black, and he had the most frosted tips I've ever seen, and now I need to find that picture.
Yeah, I have one from junior high. I'll have to ask my mom because I know for a fact I have one with frosted tips. I got them one time where they like pull your hair through the cap, paint them, stick you under an oven, And I remember it hurting so bad because they plucked your hair with, I didn't have a lot then even. And so it's just burning your scalp.
I have already found... Oh, wait a minute. Wow, this is not what I remember. I would have sworn up and down that in this picture Len had frosted tips, but I guess he...
Did not?
I guess he didn't. No.
Is that, what is that syndrome called? Where you
it's,
that the Monopoly man has a monocle.
The Mandela effect.
Mandela.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
No frosted tips.
no frosted tips.
We haven't thought about a byproduct of this. What happens if I get 10 out of your 10 and you get like 5 out of my 10? Is that going to make like a real line of contention here?
Well, there's that, and there are plenty of questions where there's not a true or no, a right or wrong answer. So I think that after the game, we're just going to have to determine whether or not we are acquaintances or friends.
Well, this is one of those that you just mentioned, Steve. My third question. When we're 85 years old, what will we be doing together?
Nothing. I mean, there's no chance this lasts another 40 years.
No, goodness. No. My answer is I'll be dead.
So...
Close enough!
I don't know.
I'm willing to give you a half a point on that because we won't be doing it together because I'll be dead.
Man, I think we're doing great so far. All right, number 3 for me is, again, one of those questions where there's not really a defined, not a defined answer, not a specific answer. When were you the most impressed by me?
Oh, boy, that's a good question. No, that's a really, really good question.
What did I do that just made you stand back and say, wow, that's a guy right there?
I'm going to be, on a very serious note, I think your trip to... Trying to figure out which one. I think when you went to England.
Oh, yeah.
And you were balancing all of the items going on with that in terms of content.
Yeah.
Editing, doing whatever needed to be. So that content could make it to air and hooking all that up.
Yeah.
For me at that point, wanting to be in radio before I realized it's a dying industry.
So you pivoted to podcasting. Where not just anyone can do this.
Real Johnny the Duck and Lisa vibes after the Europe trip. I think the work you put in, and granted, I don't think you've put in that much work since you've returned.
Boy, I am still on the decline.
The trip for the royal wedding, Steve, is the time I was most impressed with you.
All right.
Also, when you got Annette to take you to go on a date with you.
And she was the one that instigated that.
Well, her friend... made her go on stage.
No,
isn't that what happened?
No, her friend did not. She was, I think, maybe her friends, Jack Daniels and Don Julio
and Jose Cuervo got together, and
her bud, wiser.
That's right. So any of those 2 items.
All right, so we'll say that's.
When were you most impressed with yourself? Next question from over here, Steve. Where would I go if I could go on any vacation?
On any vacation? Oh. I mean, it's got to be Atlantic City, right? That's a place that or like anywhere along the Jersey Shore. You've always talked about how you wanted me to take you there.
I will give you partial credit because I was going to say Las Vegas.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I love Las Vegas.
I was thinking casinos.
And casinos.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to give you partial credit for Atlantic City because that's the only draw of Atlantic City, correct?
That's the partial credit sounder.
God, I would love a Brother Mike, Steve, and Kyle trip to the Jersey Shore.
Trip to AC?
Oh, man.
I mean, say less.
Realized that I looked at my phone last week after we had this discussion about friends or acquaintances, and I realized I had texted Brother Mike more recently than I had texted you.
We have a trip planned for after the holidays. We're going to Jersey for a couple of days. You wanna tag along?
Yeah, you can hop on there. You got like a little Spirit flight out there, a little little directy.
Yeah, we got a direct. Yeah, I mean I can leave Nikki here.
Yeah, some of the details.
All right, question number 4. If I died, what would you want of mine?
Glad you asked.
I know what you're going to say. you know what you're going to say.
Well,
So
I think
just say it.
it's boy. I think you're going to want me to take that Comanche and not get near it. 10-foot pole, 30-foot pole, however long the pole needs to be. That thing can pay $500 for one of those junk places to haul it away once you're gone. Thinking that's counting down.
All right, enough.
Just a garbage truck back there. I would take the podcast equipment, Steve.
Oh, boy, that is...
I'm thinking financial related. You're already gone. The sentiment's gone. I just wanted to cash out this lovely mixer, these microphones, and move on.
I thought for sure that before I finished the question, you would say nothing. Nothing at all.
Honestly, number 2 is Toby. But I figure you have a family left who still might enjoy Toby. So,
All right. So, I think we're doing pretty well so far.
it's not going great for you. Or, well, for both of us, right? Steve, is there a smell that reminds you of me?
Do you have a specific scent? No, there is not a smell that reminds me of you. Sorry to be anticlimactic.
No, that's fair. I was just going to say alcohol. Like just
not even that.
No,
I mean,
no,
we're rarely drinking around each
it
other.
would be more the byproduct of history, years past, right? To where it was just constant. For me, at least, it was just constant beer intake.
Because now the more common smell would be like coffee.
Right.
We're more likely to be drinking coffee around each other.
Fun fact: it slipped a little bourbon in there this morning.
Did you?
It's so close to Bill Cosby that I don't know if it's okay, but I can't imagine he's litigious in his blind 90-year-old age.
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't he getting ready to go back on tour, though?
I thought he already was on tour, but can he not see? Didn't he have like cataracts and he's blind?
Well, that's what he said when he was going through his trial, but now I'm sure he is perfectly fine.
That's right.
Okay, this is question number 5, I want to say.
Yes, sure.
When we met, did you think we'd be friends this long? Again, okay, sorry. When we met, did you think that we'd be acquaintances, possibly friends?
Yes. No.
This long?
No way. Not a chance. The fact that it extended past June of 2010 was an upset.
Thought the same thing.
That it extended past like 2014 was a minor miracle. Into the 2020s might as well be an act of God.
All right.
Somebody contact the church. Steve, am I a cookie, an ice cream, or cake person?
Oh, boy. I know you like your Halo top.
That's right.
I don't know that I've ever seen you eat cake.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird thing to say.
Well, that's not something that typically enters any chamber of the memory bank, right? Like 8 years later, you're like, time Kyle was eating that marble cake.
I feel like you're particular with your cakes. Like you'd be very quick to swat a piece of cake aside that you thought was subpar.
There's no question about that. Like, listen, you want to fill it with raspberry or whatever? Toss it into the river.
So the options were cookie, ice cream, or cake?
Correct. Yeah.
Boy, I'm going to go out on a limb and say ice cream.
Steve, ice cream is correct.
Oh.
I'll always defer to ice cream.
I felt that.
Always.
Cookie, yeah. All right, enough.
We need to get that sounder and then cut it in half.
Boy, now you got me thinking, am I a cookie, ice cream?
Yeah, I don't know how I'd answer that for you.
For me, I think I'd definitely say cake.
You'd be a cake person?
I'm a cake guy. Yeah. Love a good piece of cake.
Okay.
Love cookies, though. But, I mean, especially around the holidays.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. It's hard to beat those. But, I mean, there are just certain cookies that you don't eat throughout the rest of the year. Just on
no question.
Principle alone.
Yeah, no question.
So, but I can eat cake whenever I want.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, this is question number 6. If you and I were stuck on a desert island, why would I be an asset?
Glad you asked. I think I would most need you for building
necessities, like helping build a place to survive.
Like our shelter?
Shelter.
Okay.
Not necessarily food, just because I don't know if either of us could go grab a spear and get a fish.
No chance.
And I don't like fish anyway. I mean, you've had the Feast of the Seven, but I'm not a fish guy. So
we'd be, I guess it
which
depends.
again, remind me, was it tuna? Was it sardines? Popcorn shrimp?
Yep.
Bourbon shrimp?
Yeah, just all the shrimp from like the fajitas menu
That's right.
At Applebee's.
Okay, good. Beautiful. That's all seven shrimps.
Okay.
Steve, I would go with building shelter.
I agree. I think I'd be good at keeping us out of the elements.
Yeah, and I think once we get that shelter, I'm going to rely on you heavily so we can try to build a boat. And I'm just going to lay heavy into the fact that you once owned a jet ski and assume that that's something that's possible.
So I didn't realize there was a direct link between jet ski ownership and boat building.
Yeah, and I'll post it on the poll. Is there a direct link between those two?
Do you consider me a man of the water? Maybe put that on the poll, too.
Oh, yeah. I would. You had a jet ski. You lived near an ocean. I mean, you moved from near an ocean to near a lake.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't be without water in my
You're pretty much an avatar. What are those people called? I've never seen the movie.
Avatars.
You're pretty much an avatar. They're posting this poll. Is there a direct link between jet ski ownership and boat building?
And is Steve
a man of the water?
A man of the water, yeah.
Next question over here, Steve. What's the first thing I would do if I won the lottery?
Ooh, you would absolutely quit your job. There's no chance that you would not quit your job.
That is absolutely correct. And I have a 1B is quit this podcast.
What's keeping you here then? Because it's surely
not making money.
It's not the money. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like that's an easy answer.
Yeah.
Because that's what most people would say.
Right.
How about, like, what's the first thing you think you would buy? I think that you would... I mean, I know that you guys have been talking about moving for a while.
Oh, I can already tell you that's not it. It's going to be selfish, and it's in this room.
It's in this room?
Yeah, what I would buy is in this room. And it's selfish. It would not be for the greater good of my family.
Huh.
Steve, I'd buy a 1999 Plum Plymouth Prowler.
Hard to argue.
The beauty, the grace, the 4 cylinders of power.
Yeah, I mean, those sexy lines, those exposed front wheels.
Oh, I love those front wheels. That's my favorite part.
The big steamroller wheels in the back. That thing will get to 80
in about 30 seconds.
It's going to take a while. Yeah, I think you would absolutely quit your job first. Mm-hmm. Then you'd buy a house.
Yeah,
I think that would be.
Yeah, I think
pretty obvious. I think I mean the basics, the house, the new cars for everybody. Some stupid thing just to show how rich you are, like a statue of Rocky in the front yard or something.
Yeah, or just buy all the 1999 Plymouth Prowlers.
So you just want to make sure people know how rich you are.
Yeah, well, I want to make sure nobody else can have them. Right?
And then you're just going to build a gymnasium to store them in.
Yep, and then eventually open the Plymouth Prowler Museum. I'm not going to have those cards or placards that read details. No, it's going to be, they walk the cars and get out. Right?
It's almost like you don't want anyone to be there.
Yeah.
But you want them to show up so you can say, I'm rich.
Yep.
Look at my cars. Leave.
Self-guided, $5. That's it.
Self-guided. Okay. All right.
Your next question.
Was that mine?
No, that was mine. I asked you about the lotto.
Okay. All right. Question number 7. What do I put on my pizza?
Oh, boy. This is a good question.
Yeah. As you know, very particular about pizza.
You are.
I mean, especially...
I did not know that.
Especially when there's a birthday party involved, you got pizza.
That's true.
Inside, you got drinks outside.
See, I'm going to go with you are a man of, like, supreme. But I'm gonna designate no mushrooms. You're a man... I think you're adding pepperoni, sausage, bacon, onion... and green pepper.
Boy, you're 4 for 5, and in my book,
Yes.
That's
Are you not an onion man or not a green pepper?
No onion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a meat lovers, I'll probably go meat lovers.
I'll go meat over. Yes.
Yeah, but when you get into the supreme, then you're talking about black olives, mushrooms, onions. Not a fan. Don't want any of that crap.
I'm an olive man. I don't want any other vegetables near my pizza, just in general.
Okay.
Steve, if we're going to let one celebrity be in our group of friends, which our group of friends at this point means essentially me and you, who would we ask?
Boy, it's funny that you asked me that because that is also my next question. And the first person that I thought of was Bradley Cooper.
That's absolutely yes. I had two in my head, but I thought one was a little on the nose.
Let me try.
Because if you get the backup, this game's over.
Bradley
if you get the backup, get the music ready. It's not that out of the realm of crazy either.
Okay, can you give me a little bit of a hint?
Yeah, it's a shared interest, shared joy.
Shared joy, shared interest. Well, it's going to be either Mike Rowe or one of the captains from Deadliest Catch.
Boy, that would be.
Both involved in Deadliest Catch, obviously.
Of course. I would. The backup I had in my head was Bruce Springsteen.
Oh God, yeah. What am I thinking?
Yeah, I don't. It's hard to imagine even being a friend with that guy, even someone who's known him for 40 years. Because, like, when do you talk to Bruce Springsteen about? Oh, hey, how was Barcelona last week?
Yeah, I feel like it's probably pretty difficult for the everyman to relate to him.
Yeah, but I still feel like. I don't know, just the way you see him in concert. He's got the sleeve rolled up a little bit, and he's always got a little extra button. I'm like, hey, man.
He's driven a tractor before.
Yes,
he has.
He's cool. He's just a cool guy.
Yeah. He goes out for, midnight rides on his Indian motorcycle.
No question. He's ripping up and down the turnpike over there when he's home in Jersey.
Right, which is exactly why you and I would relate to him.
Oh, my God.
A couple of rugged
just a
motorcycle
couple of Jersey, Italian.
Tractor driving bros. That is us.
Couple of thick, luscious heads of hair.
All right. My question, number 8, was exactly the same. We're going to let a celebrity be in our friend groups. Who would we ask? So
yeah, I would say it has to be Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
Bradley
absolutely. Cooper. That was the first thing I thought of after that quest a couple of years ago for Operation Cooper Hair when I was trying to grow the Bradley Cooper hair when right after, what was the movie? The hell's the name of the movie? Why can't I think of it?
Well, Lady
Shallow,
Gaga.
The Shallow song.
Yeah, boy.
1 star at a time.
Yeah. We never put the poster up.
Star
A
is
Star is
Born.
Yeah. We have the poster of him. We just haven't put it up in here. We should find room for that one. Yeah, beautiful. My next question, Steve, if I could be an animal, what would I be? And this one, I want you to ruminate on this one because I think it's something that might surprise you about what I could be, what I would be.
You could be an animal. Because my initial thought was a dog because you're a huge dog person. You love dogs. You love your dogs more than anything.
And I'll say this. I had dog written down, and then I actually gave myself a moment to think, deleted dog, and came up with something different.
All right. I think I might have it. This is going to seem a little... Is the answer... Would the answer be surprising?
Yes.
It's got to be a shark.
It's a shark!
You're going to try and change the culture.
I want to... Well, 1, I want to change the culture, and 2, I just want to be away from everybody. Just leave me alone. I'll eat fish when I feel like it. Other than that, I'm just going to be coasting through the waters by myself. Shark is absolutely correct, Steve.
This is amazing.
I think we're on our way.
I think we're doing pretty good.
We would need a collapse here for me to say acquaintance at this point.
Okay. All right. Question number 9. Gonna regret this. Describe me in 3 words.
Oh, cool. Okay, good. Give me a few seconds.
Bring it on. Let's hear what you have to say. Any moment now, just say those.
Handy, hairy, and hard to like. Oh, that's 5.
I mean, handy and hairy, I was like, all right. Hard to like.
Yeah, handy. So we'll stick with the first 2.
Okay.
Handy, hairy. Boy, I'm trying to figure out. You know, we'll go with reliable. You're always here, right? You're always here.
So,
like, if I need a ride to the airport, I know that you're probably going to say no, but you're here,
yeah.
right? So I can rely on you being somewhere in the vicinity.
In this, so I'm geographically close.
Yes. Yeah. But Handy and Harry are the two takeaways there.
Okay.
Nice head of hair, thick, luscious head of hair for
Appreciate
a long
that.
time.
Appreciate that.
I sent you a picture this past week. One came up on our memories of you and I demoing APS. Was that 2.0?
2.0, yeah.
And, boy, lovely content, by the way. You did a fantastic job on that. Long form video.
It was, there was time lapse in there and everything.
And you had a buzz cut, and I was taken aback by that.
Yeah, that was, that would have been this time in 2016 because it was just weeks after the Chicago Cubs won the World Series.
Oh, okay, that's
I
right.
lost a World Series bet on the side gig. Well, 4 of the 5 of us lost World Series bets on the side gig. Had to shave our heads.
Whew.
And do you believe that we are exactly 7 years ago today, I proposed to Annette
Oh, really?
with that haircut.
Oh, wow. So what's the significance of a December 9 that you chose? Or was that just you had the ring burned in a hole in your pocket, you couldn't wait?
We went away that weekend. We were up in Traverse City for the weekend, and I had planned on doing it then. I'd gotten the ring 4 or 5 days earlier, and we were just up there, and it was one of those nights where we went out to this awesome dinner, and then we're walking through downtown Traverse City, and it was like one of those days where it was like movie snow was falling, like the snowflakes were the size of your hand.
Comically big, yeah.
And I mean, everything's decorated and there's people singing in the streets and like, it was, that's 7 years ago. How about that?
So were you walking around with the box
No.
in your pocket?
No, just ring.
Just a loose.
Just
I
ring,
don't.
and I was convinced
You're going to lose it.
that I was going to lose it.
Yes.
I think I went to the bathroom 4 different times during that dinner just to like check and be like, take it
Still
out of the
there. Yeah,
pocket,
yeah,
look
yeah.
at it. Okay, well, the stone hasn't
Yeah,
fallen
did the
out
cubic
yet.
zirconia shift?
Yep.
But you also can't
she
have.
doesn't even know.
Why would she ever? What's she going to take it? Like, is she chomping on it?
Try to cut a hole in glass like they do in the mystery movies.
Final question for you, Steve. Even though I know how this is going to, I think we know how this ends. If I died, what would you want of mine?
Whew.
I don't think you're going to get this one, but curious anyway.
If you died, you don't really have much stuff that I like.
Not arguing.
I mean, what do you have? You got a bunch of DVDs.
Yeah, I got rid of most of
Those aren't worth anything.
those. Got rid of most of those.
I would probably say, even though it would be such a freaking burden. I mean, I get your car's okay, but I don't really want another car.
Yeah, right.
But I'm thinking of this strictly from a material, like monetary outlook.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would say your I don't know, comic books, probably comic books. I think I could probably get more money out of them than your car, right? Do you think your comic book collection has a better street value than your car?
Probably overall, yeah. Yeah, it might be a little harder to flip because there's 3,000 of them.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to get wholesale prices.
Exactly. I'm going to the place from Pawn Stars.
But you don't got to worry about state taxes and transfer fees and license plates and all that stuff if you grab the car and sell it.
Yeah, I feel like it's the only thing in your life that has any value whatsoever. So I'd probably go with that.
Okay, Steve, my answer was my headphones, so you could have a backup pair.
I mean, if you croak and your headphones are here, they're already mine anyway.
That's a good point.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
So you're getting additional items out of the deal.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct.
What else here is yours?
Cliffy?
I guess technically most of the stuff in this room is half yours.
Well, I mean, whatever we've bought, obviously, but the on-air light was a gift to you directly.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything in the room
Yeah.
is yours. The Second Chance Jeep signs, that's yours.
Yeah.
The pod conies, we're gonna have to figure out how to
split them up.
one of those down the gut. But really, just Cliffy I think Cliffy's the only thing I brought into the room.
Yeah.
Everything else we've kind of received or brought
Yep.
back from trips and stuff. So.
All right, final question, number 10. What am I most afraid of?
Oh, it's losing an ad.
You know, I'll give you credit for it. I was going to say being alone.
Oh, being alone. Okay, yes. Yeah, I was more direct to the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the idea that, you know, you're a man in your late 20s after having been married with 2 kids, and then next thing you know, you're in a studio, you know, shaving where you eat. In a mirror you now have hanging on the inside of your fridge for some reason. Everything's just wedged in like 400 square feet.
That's very like John McClane Die Hard-esque.
Yes. Yeah. So to be clear, your table like folds down. So you open the fridge.
Yeah.
After your table is folded down.
You mean my table bed?
That's right.
Because I eat there, and then when I'm done eating there, I put a towel on it.
Yeah.
And I sleep there.
And then from like on top of your butter is a little roll down mirror. So while you're eating your boring toast for dinner for your third meal, you're also shaving.
Right.
In your fridge mirror.
Well, man, we just both answered 10 questions about the other person, and I would say that we probably got 70% of them right.
Absolutely. I think we nailed it. Listen, I was a little bit nervous. I think we can both safely say, Steve, that we are friends.
I'm Chuck Tomfoolery.
I expect to see the return of game show host Chuck Tomfoolery in further incarnations
He'll be around.
of the new hit game show. After 13 years, Are We Friends or Acquaintances?
Yeah. Do you think we should shorten that title at all?
No, I think that fits on the neon with the bulbs. Like this is one of those, not neon, I shouldn't say neon, but where each bulb like individually screwed in the shape of the words.
Of course, yeah.
So we need now a bulk rate on light bulbs just to be able to light the panel for this game show.
If we were to hang up that sign around the studio, it would overlap.
No question.
The tail would hit the beginning.
No question. And that was I think that was the perfect culmination of the second half of our most navel-gazing, self-aggrandizing week that this podcast does every year.
Well, that's why we never call it, we don't call it a best of. We simply call it the year in review.
We're simply providing you what we did this year. If anybody would like to either reminisce or jump on board with this.
It's kind of a table of contents.
Yeah.
These are some things that happened.
That's right. And a lot of people would say listening to this podcast is very akin to reading a table of contents.
But we can't thank you enough for listening. It's been a fun year.
It has been.
We look forward to 2024. Again, the big tease that I threw out just a little while back.
My goodness. A bit for the new year.
A bit for the year.
Fingers crossed that this is the year I can finally break the shackles of this podcast and get out.
If you had a Steve and Kyle Podcast 2024 bingo card, no chance this would be on it. No chance.
I'm very excited.
All right. We will talk to you in the new year.
Happy New
Thank
Year,
you very
everybody.
much for listening. It's time to put out this fire.